The moment of creation is a form of magic, where an off becomes an on, a 0 becomes a 1, then another, and another, until, deep in the complexity, you discover order, speed, reliability, power. Experience the WD BLACK NVMe SSD. Fueled by darkness. Level up to NVMe SSD performance.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and in association with AFK Gaming. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is my co-host, Foxy, and I'm an Eisen as we are here for day 3 of the qualifiers for Season 3, and it is about to be a doozy of a set of games coming at you tonight. Starting off on the map of Oregon with us today is going to be Lost Prophet Gaming versus Ultra Instinct. This is going to be a match that I'm personally quite interested in because I've known the Ultra Instinct boys for quite a long time now. They've been through their trials and tribulations and multiple roster changes, but the core team remains a couple of friends in there, basically, is what I'm trying to say. With all that being said, we're going to join the teams in the ban phase on the map of Oregon right here, right now. And as usual, Thatcher and Maverick will be the ones to face the bans. And not really too surprising, all things considered, Oregon, a place where Thatcher and Maverick can thrive. And overall, the bans are going to be fairly standard from the looks of it. Anyway, coming back to the point at hand, Foxy, how you doing today?
Hey, honestly, it's a great energy I brought on table because I've got so much more stored for it. The third day for season 3, definitely so much more I'm expecting from the teams coming out today. As we've got the stream time starting a little later than usual as well. That means we're in for a longer ride than usual. But that being said, the Goyo ban has come out. We haven't seen that operator getting banned in quite the time. But hey, Thatcher, Maverick, Goyo, and Wamai will be the ones to sum up the ban. And Ultra Instinct once again, I'm getting to witness and more importantly, cast a match of theirs. I was able to do that on the first day of the stream as well. So, hey, definitely it's a good energy at least as to what I was expecting out of these matches. But Ultra Instinct, they were really good with what they brought on board. Sonic had some really good moments as well, where he happened to bring out very distinctive performances. Let's see if everybody else on that roster happens to bring out much. Speaking of the roster, let's take a look at both of them. We've got Light Atom, Pikachu, Blast, and AXH from LP Gaming, while we have Sonic, Pakoda Man, Nightmare, Void, and Nex from the side of Ultra Instinct. It's definitely a beautiful roster from both these sides. I cannot wait to see what happens to Unveil as we proceed ahead into this match.
Absolutely. Dorms will be the first side of choice here in today's matchup. And interestingly enough, with the Goyo and Wamai bans coming out from both sides, means that there will be, a significantly less dependence, a significantly less amount of dependence on deployable shields than we usually get to see on Oregon. This is something that both me and Baba were sort of speculating on, right there, yesterday, in fact, and both of us came to the same agreement that if Goyo bans do start to pick up, which they seem to have as of recently, then it will certainly make things a whole lot more interesting, freeing up many more aggressive routes for attackers to take, to get into sight, to get that execute done quickly, and to make their plays. Catch the defenders off guard. Ultra Instinct are going to have to be wary of that, as Lost Prophet will be looking to put that to the advantage. The only deployable shield coming out from Void, and maybe one from Nex, the Ella, playing in this particular situation.
It's going to come down to the push that the attackers have to still establish map control. That is something that I'm not getting to see from them. Some late round setups coming in from the side of the defense as well. They're just trying to buy time at this point. That's exactly what you want to do coming out on a defensive map like Oregon as well. It's just going to be the clock that you've got to make sure you're trying to beat, at least on the side of attack. LP Gaming still trying to find that little window that they can operate with, because clearly 2 minutes left on this map and we are not getting to see them do a whole lot of headway on the side, and more importantly there's no map control, and even the hard reach attempt is coming in now. Sonic taking so much damage, he's just going to have to fall back and take that fight some other time. But hey, look at this peak, man, with the pistol. Next is definitely brought out the disrespect along with the beautiful opening frag. AXH is going to be the one to take the fall.
A big drop with the Zofia going down early from the side of the attack, as the Elo will make sure to win the sister rivalry for this round, leaving the side of LP Gaming 4v5 at the minute 25 mark in the very first round itself. Good stuff from Ultra Instinct. Admittedly, Sonic could have done with not taking that bit of early damage, but right now Nightmare seems like he's about to get into a gunfight. There's a Buck and a Hibana coming in through tower, and he knows... Oh dear me, that's a okay. That's a little bit of an interesting placement of a deployable cam right there from not sure who that is, whose cam that is. That's Jaeger's actually. Oh, look at it, Sonic. He's brought out a deployable camera on the Jaeger, while Nex is going to take a bit of damage from that gunfight he's taking elsewhere on the map. The box push up right behind the box of Attic. And Nightmare, he's just waiting in the wings as the Hibana watches on the long angle towards Kids. We've got the Ace trying to come in, but Nightmare is going to find one. Next is going to be found in the meanwhile by Licked. It's a 3v4. LP Gaming are still at a disadvantage. Equalizer comes in, though. The IQ's coming off as Pikachu's going to go for the plant. Adam goes down, and it's a 2v2 as Licked finds his third, and now it's down to the 2v2 plants going off. Pikachu has cover, but no, he does not. The Maestro comes out, and that will be Pecora coming in with the double right towards the end. The Alda never stops the train of bullets, as he will be the one, with the help of the Echo, taking a round one for the side of Ultra Instinct. We'll see that in the instant replay right there, as the first round goes the way of a very good performance from UI.
UI once again bringing it strong, and starting the match strong for that matter. They're just making sure that they have everything in control, and once again we'll be seeing them being headed to laundry and supply room, and this time as well, like we got to see it in the last time around from Sonic, we're getting to see that echo pick from them as they happen to move towards laundry. Definitely an interesting insight to what UI happens to bring out when they feel comfortable. That is something that they'll have to catch up on and change, though, because as you happen to move ahead into the qualifiers, things do tend to get a little tough. And hey, it just happens to come out to be who will be the top teams that will make it into Division 3. That being said, we'll be headed into round 2. And hey, speaking of which, we did get to see some good setup from the side of Ultra Instinct, and it was just not the fact that LP Gaming were not able to gain map control a little too early. It was just that, hey, Ultra Instinct had everything in control. They had the avenues being watched, and whatever new avenues opened up were taken care of as well. That being said, round 2 does happen to open up new avenues, because we've got Mira being played, and Nightmare does bring that little randomness from his team. We did get to see a team kill come out from last time around, and with the Goyo ban this time around, I think that is what has pushed him to play the Mira. He's still got the Vector, but I'm sure that's not the reason why he's picking this up.
Oh, absolutely. Those black mirrors have always been just so powerful. Regardless of what kind of map you put Mira in, any situation, that will definitely be an operator you want to trust in. And next, in the meanwhile, he's been droned out, so he's going to have to fall back. As UI's setup, for the most part, in basement this time around seems to be a fairly solid one. They've got deployable shields, but they know that they can't hold those for long, so they've put them in those high traffic areas where at the very least they can burn some utility from the side of the attack. Of course, you've got the standard one from Void inside of Blue Bunker Elbow, going into the rotate back into sight. However, there is still a bit of a question to be asked as to how quickly LP Gaming are going to catch on to this side of a defensive play from the side of the defense. UI, they've got a good setup. They've got the echo for intel and a little bit of push denial, if you will, bit of punish as it were. And right now, for the most part, they got to get their hatches breached. They got to get verticality established. As Ash, AXH, excuse me, is going to be the one taking a bit of damage. Not sure what that was. Sounded like the Kaid. Pagoda Man was the one doing the damage, and that seems to have been towards the white stairs. The Kaid himself was pulled back for the time being. Because right now, about a minute 25 remaining, LP Gaming haven't made much headway towards site.
Gaining that momentum has been a problem for LP Gaming so far, but I hope that they can push that barrier and eventually try and get to side, because they've been in and around the map for quite a bit. 1 minute left. We're finally getting to see the push come up along with the drones just to try and help the Hibana, making sure that this initial frag comes their way. AXH will be the one to start things off from the freezer. A long angle being employed. Really good start for the Zofia, honestly. A good entry frag as to what they needed. Now it's going to come down to getting those 4 frags as well. There's 4 more defenders that they've got to find, but will they in time though? That's something, it does happen to make me want to worry, you know. 40 seconds, not the best of times you want to make and execute happen on. The freezer breach is coming out, but that's being stopped from Pagoda Man. It does go out anyway, but it's still not viable for the attackers to move through it. Sonic back on his drones, back and forth on his drones. In fact, Glass is still making his way, making his push happen from the freezer. We've got a 3-man push all the way from the main stairs. One C4 could do his job. The C4 did come out, but did not do the job. That was a good dodge from the attackers, stalling so much time. 10 seconds left and the push is in. Finally, we've got a kill coming in from Adam. Nightmare is here to refrag, but he's still got the push. Eminent Nightmare is here to get the double kill for him. A 3 versus 3 in the plan is being stuck. He's got to go for the diffuser, and yes, he will. Nightmare might have just won them the round. No, yes, he does. Ultra Instinct will walk away with round 2 on the back of that denial coming in with the Mira window. It does come out to this very weird push from LP Gaming. Definitely, that is something I haven't seen in a while. Honestly, it does take me back to my old days of learning the game. But hey, you've got the Mira staring in front of you. You do not want to run past it with 10 seconds left on the clock. The scariest thing that could happen. I'm sure we can imagine scarier things in Rainbow Six Siege that could happen to someone. But this does come down to be one of the scariest things. That no, staring a Mira window on site, not so cool. You've got to clear them up. You've got enough emphasis with your Hibana pick as well. Just not able to crack that little, I would say, distance between them. They're not able to just break that barrier of how they want to be approaching this attacking round. LP Gaming still lack the shine we expected from them, but let's see what they have to offer. Round 3 will be underway, and we are headed to kitchen and dining.
Well, certainly it is just round 3, of course. Things are pretty much bound to change between both sides. As Ultra Instinct, you know, we've seen this before from them. I've seen it before from them, from playing with them, sort of by experience. They can kind of sort of get ahead of themselves when they start taking the advantage, and that can lead to some interesting decision-making, to say the least. And I say interesting with air quotes, ladies and gentlemen, because again, having played with at least Sonic and Pagoda Man in this roster, I can attest to some of the weirder stuff we've managed to pull off when it comes to playing together. It's just one of those things, you know. Now, sure, most of that old roster isn't there, the one I'm primarily playing with, but you know, these two are still here. They're still leading the team, setting an example, and doing what they can. LP Gaming will be looking to take advantage of whatever momentary lapse of concentration comes out from the side of UI, as that is something I'm pretty sure any team who has checked out the VODs where UI has played will be looking into. They've seen it, and they've probably, you know, accounted for it, and maybe Ultra Instinct could have some surprise adaptations for us today if they manage to change things around. And you know, if they don't get ahead of themselves, if they don't make those unnecessary peaks, then well, in that case, it could certainly be a very good day for them.
That's exactly what you'd expect if you're a fan. But hey, that's another conversation coming down to it. It does come down to expectation, at least a level of it that we happen to see these teams start off on. But it's the qualifiers. There's literally no cap. We can go wild, and that's exactly what the teams do itself. And we already got somebody closing in on a defender here. He will be pre-fired to death. The Jaeger does not survive that, and it'll be Sonic taken care of early in the round. Sonic has found himself in difficult position since the start of this match. Has not exactly been to his usual influential self, and hey, that's just given Ultra Instinct's players to push their bounds and try and show up what they have in their backpack, in their little trick sleeve, if I may. But okay, he's definitely come out to be a very strong first 2 rounds. Let's see if they do have a third one, because they've already seen a man fall. Anything could happen at this point. A 5 versus 4 early into the round. 1 minute left as we proceed ahead onto round 3. Drone works coming in from the side of the attackers. We're still getting that information trade-off that they're very, very starved of. The attackers, Void making sure that he capitalizes on one of those moments. Light will be the one to take to be taken down. In fact, a 4 versus 4 still established, and there you go. The kills are coming in now. Blast will make sure he gets his own frag. Pakoda Man will be the one to take the fall. Looks like the defense is getting a little too, I would say, a little too impatient maybe. Just holding angles on side. 30 seconds left. The push is in already on the side. They've gotten the side control, but they're not watching the angles. Nightmare walks away with the frag once again, and what is here with the double kill? It's a 1 versus 2. Pikachu just tries to stay alive here, but barely enough. Next will make sure he gets the cleanup, and he'll just take Pikachu down in the finish up kill. The MPX comes forward and gets the frag. Nice and easy. The headshot pops off. And speaking of that, once again, it's just not Ultra Instinct making sure they get the frags right into place towards the end of the round. It's just the fact that we're getting to see the match actually, I would say, get pushed into momentum towards the last 30 seconds of the round. Before that, it is just the attackers trying to get as close to side as they can. And the defenders, honestly, they're doing a really smart move. They're not even doing anything about it. They're letting them waste their own time, and they're just sitting back, chilling out on site, waiting for the crossfires to happen. Really good stuff. 3 rounds in. Let's see what we happen to find out from the 4th round. A 6-pick will come in from Blast. That's going to be from the Jackal onto the Thermite, and we'll be headed on to round 4.
4th round with the Thermite being 6-picked in, understandably so, for second floor dorms. UI having taken a first lap around the side of Oregon are looking pretty strong today, all things considered. And LP Gaming, on the other hand, not quite as much. Now, of course, again, it's only been the first 3 rounds. We're just in round 4, and there's still plenty of time and room for improvement. However, that time and that opportunity of improvement is shrinking very, very fast. LP Gaming have to look into the problems. They have to look at solutions on the fly, and they have to execute those solutions as soon as possible. If not, they're going to run into a bit of an error in the qualifiers, and that error will be, of course, seeing them get, eliminated. I mean, it just is the way it is. If you don't perform, if you lose matches, you will get eliminated. You'll have to try again next season, and UI will be closer than ever before to getting into the division stages. Now, that might sound a little mean, admittedly. UI have gotten to the finals of qualifiers before, but it just hasn't been their time. It just hasn't been their day. A bad set of decisions, a bad performance day here and there has usually led to them getting eliminated in the in the qualifiers over and over again. And they're going to need to try and change that today. They are trying to change that history of their own, to add that they have been in the division stages at least for 1 season. That could be season 3 of the Pro League, ladies and gentlemen. UI are close to doing it. LP Gaming, on the other hand, they've got to get some stuff done of their own. And next, he's walking vertical. But does he know? Well, he does now that there was a Zofia there before, taking out the Meat Jammer to allow for the ace. And his Summer Breach done.
Breaches, getting the breaches done is what is going to be the priority right now for the attackers. They need that kind of map control, and that is something that has been lacking from them. 1.5 minutes left, and still we don't see a whole lot of groundwork, but it's been a better pacing, at least what we got to see from the side of LP Gaming, and this might as well turn out to be a better round of sorts. At least that's what I would like to believe. I want them to get at least 1 round on board, try and crush, because I don't want them to crush their own confidence over happening to have a series of rounds lost. I still got the push. Ibana exchanging some shots with the Echo. He's not really met the SAT operators yet. But hey, they're still exchanging shots, and we don't get to see a primary push happen from the breach yet. And there you go, the first kill comes in. It'll be light to make sure he gets wide, and that'll be a first frag. And your denial, in fact, is off the board. Smoke goes down. White will be the one to take the fall. We're still getting to see the push, but here's Sonic. Here's Nightmare. In fact, he's going to take so much more damage just missing his shots over that repeat. But here's the order coming into play, but he loses that fight as well. The Thermite and Hibana making the push from Attic, and that's the cleanup, people. Like I said, LP Gaming might have a breath of fresh air, and yes, they will. They get their first round on board and stop. Excuse me, I was almost about to say Sonic Gaming. Stop Ultra Instinct. Ultra Instinct from going ahead with this winning streak. 3-1 is the scoreline. Round 5 will be underway. Let's see what more these teams happen to have in store for us.
It looks like something that the side of LP Gaming were trying to set up for the longest time has finally paid off, and that is their Intel Execute transition, which they've been trying to do for quite a while now, all things considered. They were trying to give themselves as much intel as possible, clear out as much of the admittedly, not too much utility that the side of UI is using, and then get into sight. That took them quite a while to do and quite a while to get through. But when they did in that last round, they did it very, very well. And Ultra Instinct, unfortunately, they were just not ready for the peak, the double Heart Breacher combo from the Tower Attic push coming out from LP Gaming. They're going to have to be this time around, as we are going back to Basement Laundry in round 5, not going back to the same site, not repeating the same mistakes. I like to see that from UI. They are willing to change things up as and when required. However, the setup seems to be mostly the same to what they had in the previous round. And I say mostly, of course, because some things can be changed, some adaptations can be made. And maybe if UI makes those adaptations, they might see themselves having a much better time this round. And if they are able to, of course, then they will take it up to 4-1, giving themselves back that 3-round lead that they started off with. But in the meanwhile, Jaeger's been spotted, and Nex is going to have to fall back if he doesn't want to get his head taken off quickly. And he will do just that, fall back into sight. And for the most part, UI, they'll keep doing what they have been doing so far, which is sticking close to sight. One roamer doing a little bit of work, falling back after wasting time. Fairly standard, all things considered, but it has stopped LP Gaming in a couple of rounds before. If that does work again, then Ultra Instinct will be thankful, will be grateful for it, and they'll keep doing it with what little variations they need to make. LP Gaming, on the other hand, they still have a little bit of a ways to go.
They definitely need to try and put more speed into what they've been trying to establish out of their attacking rounds, but I don't really blame them. It's been them taking their own sweet time. That's the way they like to approach the game. I'm afraid it's just a little too much, sadly. You got the back stairs, the rear end of the stairs, in fact, held down by Nex. And quite the interesting position that he's put himself in. Not the best of sorts, honestly. You happen to pick a fight here. It's do or die at this point. Either you get the kill or you're dead. And slowly, as we see the attackers try and make the push happen, they will be the ones to exchange some gunfire with the Jaeger on the rear end of the stairs. The push is happening, in fact, from the side of the freezer as we happen to go ahead. And hey, round 5, just the way it happens to come out to be. We're getting to see the classic UI strategy. They are just trying to bait LP Gaming into expel more and more time. But there you go, Light already the one who's been the entry fragger, spearheading the attack for LP Gaming, always getting the first frag, will be the one once again on the bottom of the main stairs. Exchanging some sites with the mirror window and the echo drones as well. There's so much utility that is being wasted and so much of it being used as well as the push comes in from Freezer along with the push from the main stairs.
One body goes down, and that is the Kaid going down to the Zofia. But we've got Nex on a big flank right now. Bodies are dropping inside a side. In the meanwhile, it's a 4v3, but that's going to be equalized right there with the diffuser drop, and a big flank comes in. He can't confirm the other one, but he will fall back. He's done a lot of work, wasted a lot of time, and he has to survive. Nightmare has to survive as well, as Blast will take down Void In the meanwhile, 3v2, only 2 defenders remaining. Nexus position potentially given away by the drone that was still alive on main stairs. Nightmare, he will find another equalize, and now Nex has to fall back in because Diffuser has been recovered. Blast takes a double, it's a 1v2, but the Diffuser is going back into sight. They need to get the plant off. They might just be able to if the Kali is watching. Nex won't get this kill, but he has to rotate. Has it been heard? It will be now. Shots will be fired. Kali goes down. It's a 1v1. All down to the post-plant clutch from Nex. He has to do it. He could bait the counter defuse if he wants to, and he's got the angle for it, but he wants to peek. He wants this kill. He's going to peek, and he will get taken out. Very ill-advised, very bad decision from the Jaeger right there. He didn't need to do that. He had all the advantage in the world and ends up giving away his life to AXH instead, as round 5 will go to the side of a Lost Prophet. It would have been, as we saw in the instant replay right there, the round for UI. All Nex had to do was bait the counter defuse or even hold it for slightly longer to convince AXH to come forth and show himself. He had a corner, a very good dark corner to do it in, and he didn't. He got too aggressive, too greedy for the kill, and it cost him his life and his team the round. Round 6 will be underway, the last round before roll swap, and we're headed back to dorms on second floor.
All right, I'm going to have to be honest. When he got the kill onto the Kali, I was like, all right, this Jaeger is onto something. But I'm not really a fan of what happened towards the end of the round there on the doorway of the freezer entrance.
Oh, yeah.
Not the best of, not the best outcome of what we were expecting to see. But hey, maybe that's why Sonic is being put back on that on that operator, at least for now. We'll be seeing Nex come back and play this more. Sadly, we've seen Nex drop early towards the side of the defense when it comes to Kids Dom so far. Hopefully that is something that they'll break down this time around as well, not try and keep that trend up. But it does happen to speak volumes that with Sonic and Nightmare coming out with the Jaeger and the Vigil, they're coming out with a little bit of roam game as well. It's not exactly stopping LP Gaming into their tracks. I was expecting them to get a little slower than before, but what it just did is just not do anything, honestly. It was still the same push we got to see from LP Gaming. They were still exactly that much methodical. Excuse me. And hey, the push that they made on the side took all the while more time, if not less. But hey, it does come down to say that everything that LP Gaming has been trying to pull off has not been working out until we happen to jump into round 4. It's been them trying to play this back and forth with Ultra Instinct, not taking the fight to them, in fact, not fighting on their own turf. And by that, what I mean to say is they've stopped investing the time into things that have been taking away the utility out of them, and just put all of their resources into getting the side push done within the time.
Absolutely, and oh, that's a little unfortunate. However, Licked, I think he had somebody tracked, but the man will go down. Impact comes out, doesn't actually claim the kill. The second one will not either. Nightmare, he wants to play it safe by staying up on Tower 3, Tier 3 of Tower, that is. However, it seems that the Jackal might just be revived. He's trying to crawl away. He's still losing HP, mind you. I don't think any of his teammates are risking or willing to risk the revive unless AXH and the Hibana are able to get this done. They might just be able to, as the visual will do even more damage. Adam takes quite a bit of it, but he's not out of the fight yet. Neither is the Jackal. He has been revived now. And with that, no body drops will happen. Sure, 2 operators are very low on HP, but Nightmare, he's yet to get a kill. Will this be it? No, not quite. Runs out of bullets right towards the end, and there's the impact from the Zofia to down him and finish him off. The Vigil, a very sad tale, really. Did quite a bit of damage to 3 different operators, but could never confirm the... Wait a minute. Oh, well, never mind then. Adam took the words right out of my mouth. Team killing the Sophia instead, putting her right out of her misery, making it a 4v4 equalizer. Make that 3v4. Another body drops on white.
Well, not the best of positions to be found. And Hibana going for the breach, a little guilty, but still hopeful. A 3 versus 3 is re-established. We did get to see a kill come out from Blast, and that's going to be the push coming in from Kali as he happens to attempts to revive at him. Hibana back on his feet, but here's the smoke canisters coming out from the side of the defense as well. Nexus being the man to try and stop this, and there you go. He comes up with his SMG-11, gets the frag onto Pikachu. They still got the kill coming in from Void, and that is the rollout. And there you go, the disrespect and the insult for the Hibana pushing up, and the knife that she happened to get. There'll still be the push-up from him. The Maestro's seen her. I'm not sure what he's up to, but it won't matter because Nex will make sure the shotgun from the back will connect. Does happen to look a little funny if you do happen to take a look at the kill cam. Look at that. Quick kill, and not really much the Hibana could do, honestly, at that point. LP Gaming coming down. At this point, I'm not sure what would be the best EDM to suit this, but it's almost as if they're biting their own tongue, and it's coming down to their own mistakes and just falling over them, tripping over them. In fact, we still not got to see a huge blowout, at least as to how we usually see matches progress. 4-2 is the score, and we're headed to round 7 in the second half. But it does speak volumes. Ultra Instinct has taken the maximum advantage on defense that they could on Oregon. They're aiming to do that as they happen to move to attack as well. The real question is, will LP Gaming allow that? Will they be able to take the maximum advantage as they happen to move on the defensive side in the second half? A quick look at the scoreboard as we happen to move ahead rather into round 7.
Absolutely. You can see Nightmare and Nex have been doing quite a bit of the lifting in terms of the killing potential for the side of UI. 7 and 8 to them. Well, it's a more distributed, more spread out sort of a kill card from the side of LP Gaming. UI certainly have their roles very well defined right now, and they are doing what they can to adhere to that and to just get the rounds as they go along, really. 4-2 going into round 7 roll stop. Not a bad score in the slightest. It's a very good score and a very advantageous score going into the attack. Sure, they're attacking on Oregon, which is a defender-sided map by nature, but with this kind of advantage and already having put LP Gaming's momentum to a halt of sorts, they could turn this match around and make that disadvantage go away very, very quickly. A score difference is where it starts, but now UI have to look into taking their own. A little bit of time here, gathering intel, taking out the roamers, more importantly, the German brothers right here, as you can see. Adam and the bandit licked down below on the basement. And oh, what a shot from Adam. He barely connects the head onto Nex as the Ash tried to swing wide on the Jaeger. Couldn't get him, and Adam will walk away with a very important first kill. Ultra Instinct down by 1. It's a 4v5 as it looks like the bedroom push is slowly coming in.
The bedroom push, excuse me, is imminent. It's got to happen, and it'll happen sooner or later. Ultra Instinct starting things off a little rusty. Next, once again, being the man to fall. I hate to see that at this point. It's been entry death threat, as we talked about this before, for Ultra Instinct. That's been the case for him. But it does happen to put LP Gaming in a little bit of a position of confidence. Bandit awfully close to this. Okay, she does not know this. She's going to go down. That's an unfortunate situation to find yourselves in. Sonic, should have drawn yourselves out before you happen to hold on angles like that. But a good use of that surprise element that the Bandit happened to bring out. Light made sure that he gets that. And there you go. The push-up is in once again the surprise element. Working out perfectly for LP Gaming right now. A 2 versus 5 that we've got to see unveil as we happen to go at 1 minute left. Nightmare and Void, the only ones left alive. The Hibana and the Nomad for that matter. They've got to find these frags. They've got to do it now. AXH will be the one to find the frag onto one more of these attackers. Void will be the one to take the fall. Here's the Hibana trying to keep things alive. Nightmare. They'll try and find Light. But is that all he can find? 40 seconds left. It's going to come down to the clock. And it's going to come down to this one man and a possible ace clutch that could come out from him. 30 seconds. I'm not seeing a huge attempt from him. So it looks like he's just going to buy some time for his teammates as they try to regroup. But he's making the push happen from White. The barbed wire getting broken is going to give away his position. The pre-fire coming in. The reload has to come out just right after.
Well, that's a nice little flashbang right there. Not sure how much that's going to help him because there's so many people closing in on his position. A Banshee as well, slowing him down from getting away as Adam will come in and clean up on the kill. It was a long overdue for the side of the defense, as we'll see in the instant replay right there. And the side of Ultra Instinct continuing to lose to their indecision and their, unfortunately, less than stellar droning capabilities. Basement will be the site of choice going into round 8, as right now, of course, Lost Prophet are just one round away from equalizing. They're one round away from bringing it back, using Oregon's defender-sided nature to their advantage and bringing themselves closer to victory. Next, we'll be taking the 6-pick out of the Capitao into the Jackal, bringing in that roam tracker just to make sure that Lost Prophets roamers have a little bit of trouble if they want to go onto first or second floor away from sight. Wherever they might be, they're going to need to be hunted down. And the Jackal, one of the best tools you can have with his Inox scanner, of course. Ultra Instinct, they need to sort of tighten up their attack. What we saw in the last round was very loose, very sort of all over the place. They didn't really seem to be focusing too much. And, you know, we've seen it before from them where they've had issues with continuing that same momentum, the same sort of strength and feeling into multiple rounds of the same match. The longer it goes, the more they seem to lose their endurance and start making more and more mistakes. And overall, it's something that UI has sort of suffered from, over the course of their multiple roster changes and whatever little bits and pieces they've had whenever they've competed in tournaments. It's been this way for a while now. Sure, it's a little less than what it used to be, but it's not gone. It's still very much prevalent, and they have to try and fix that. That starts, of course, with taking that first kill very early, as Adam seems to have been found and taken care of nicely by Nightmare. And we're just at the 2-minute, 25-second mark.
An early frag is going to be very fruitful for the side of the attack right now. Ultra Instinct making that push. Atom will be the one to take the first fall, and the GSU and brothers do come out of packing a bunch, you know, at least with the guns that they happen to carry. But we won't be seeing the Jaeger doing any of his stunts tonight. Pushes in from Sonic. He's going to find the second. A good push up from the White Stairs. Definitely turned out to be a calculated one. We did see Sonic anticipating that defender coming out from the top of the White Stairs. We're getting to see the breaches happen onto the hats as two bodies already dropped. Lovely momentum Ultra Instinct that set themselves up for. Looks like they might as well be it for the 5th round that they so badly want. But speaking of the 5th round that they badly want, it does come down to the fact that, hey, we need to hold our horses right now. It does come down to, at least at the end of the day, it is the fact that, hey, composure is something you need right now. Converting on these rounds and advantages is what is expected from the side of Ultra Instinct. Making the push happen. 1 minute and 20 seconds left. We're still going to see a Blast. Blast's position's being given away. Look at that. The ping has come out, and that means the pressure will be bent all to him as well. AXH will make sure he gets his own headshot, and that'll be Nightmare to take the fall. But that peak did come in, and Sonic's patience paid off. AXH is here to find his double kill. Koraman, meanwhile, will shut down Pikachu. We still got a 1 versus 2, possibly 1 versus 3, as White is being put back on his feet, as it does come down to the Legion getting the 3 frags and turning this into an ace situation for him as well. The concussion comes out, definitely a difficult position for the Legion to play on. He's just going to turn and hide, as we are kicked into a post-match situation with only 30 seconds left. The clock is ticking, and a 1 versus 3 for the Legion to fight.
There's only so much one man can do. Caught on the main entry from the main stairs, laundry entry area. He can only do so much. 1v3 post plant, and with attackers watching nearly every angle, and air jab as well. But that's actually what saved him right there from the punch hole made by Sonic just a second ago. But how much more can he do here? Does he see the punch hole? No, he does not. And the Zofia will be the one to shut him down. Much needed win for the side of Ultra Instinct, as their coordination definitely took a much needed upswing in this round. The 8th round going to them, as we'll see in the instant replay. UI are looking strong once again. 5-3 is the scoreline, and they are that much closer. One round away, in fact, from securing match point in this single elimination stage of the qualifiers. Securing match point will be a big step indeed, as the amount of pressure Lost Profit will be facing from potentially getting eliminated if they don't pick themselves up is going to be what makes or breaks them. If they're able to play in that kind of pressure, well, then we're on for a big game, ladies and gentlemen. If not, UI will walk away with a win under their belt. Basement Laundry will be the site of choice once again, not going for any of the other sites, none of the meeting or dining sites on first floor. LP Gaming wants to emphasize on basement because they feel like they can hold it off. And they've got the Mira this time around from AXH, who looks like will be hanging back inside a site. Blast has picked up the Legion in his stead, and we've still got the German brothers Adam and Licht, who will probably be on the road once again.
Roman game does happen to bring out that little pinch of spiciness. You know, we get to see the gunfights coming out early, but sadly, that's not been the case for the defense. LP Gaming, they've been being picked out a little too early for my liking. Ultraman has been good with it. They like to emphasize the time of their own game, and that's why next we've got to see him bring out the Jackal. Void is on the flank watch. That's Nomad. So, a very well thought out operator pick phase, at least from the side of Ultra Instinct, as well as to essentially just countering what LP Gaming is trying to bring out. And hey, that's pretty much the game, I believe. Hey, that being said, we'll be headed ahead, and we've got the flank watch already established as AXH. Well,
how does that even happen?
I'm not sure. I think he was the wrong place at the wrong time. I guess that's all that happened. He was maybe just trying to get a peek onto the Mira window while the Mira was trying to make some adjacent shotgun holes. And I really like how there's no remorse from the Mira as well. Like, she just carries on reloading her gun and yeah, going ahead about it. But hey, that's a very unfortunate position to find yourselves in, because your team is already losing 3-5, and I wouldn't really say losing, but lacking behind for sure. And round 9 turns out to be a very important one, because this will happen to determine if Ultra Instinct does go to match point or not. And they just happen to come up with a team kill. 4-5 is the man count, and right now it's a deficit for LP Gaming to fight against what Ultra Instinct has found themselves in.
Absolutely right now, UI, with that early advantage coming out from none other than LP themselves, will need to try and face against the Mira setup. And it's an interesting one indeed, because the mainstairs area is being watched by Adam. AXH is vulnerable to that region if it gets pushed. However, shutting down Nightmare is the first step to making sure that the mainstairs entry does not get given away to the side of the attack. Pakora Man, he cannot make a breach on that reinforced wall because it is electrified by the bandit batteries. And there's another kill secured. Unfortunate, the Jackal whiffing his shots. Adam will not. And next goes down. LP Gaming are closer to once again coming in 1 round's worth of distance to equalizing as Adam takes a triple. And in the meanwhile, AXH will get shut down by Void. Pokemon gets taken down, and there goes Void as well. Pikachu and Adam coming in for their team. As LP Gaming takes round 9, we'll see that in the instant replay. And UI, unfortunately, funneling themselves into quite literally a death box of that entry of laundry. Mainstairs entry right there. That was pretty much a shooting fish in a barrel for Adam, as he took 3 and then took 1 through the Mira window recently vacated by the late AXH. And that was his quad, I believe. Very good for the man. Very good for the team's morale, as well as 1 man alone was able to hold off 4 attackers along with the help of the mute to get themselves again 1 round closer to the equalizer. Round 10 will be in play. We're headed back to dorms on 2nd floor with a couple of 6 picks into GSG9 operators. Jaeger from Adam once again, and next going into the IQ.
Hey, even with the team kill coming in, they definitely made a good round conversion out of that situation. LP Gaming stopping Ultra Instinct from going to match point. I think that does happen to put things into perspective. did make me think about, hey, what's been something that is not working out for Ultra Instinct right now, and I think that is the fact that LP Gaming, despite them having to come out with their, I'd say, uh, with their on-site turtle hold on laundry, they definitely had very good crossfire range outs from what we got to see from Ultra Instinct. Ultra Instinct, I think they got a little too ahead of themselves into taking these gunfights and not being able to do justice to them. That's where they happened to lose. LP Gaming made sure that they bring their best because they want to still be alive and kicking and try and push this match in their favor. 4-5 is the scoreline round 10, and the action phase will be underway. We've got Light once again. He's going to be on the roam game. And quite interestingly, so we don't get to see the Jaeger going out now. It's coming out from the Bandit, and hey, I don't really blame it. It's the shifting meta and the shifting preferences of the teams as well, and that's what the defenses chose to go with. A possible spawn P, or rather just a bullet hole that is being held down by the Jaeger right now. That is Atom, of course. He might be able to find an early kill or two, but it does come down to the fact that, hey, the drone works will come in from the attack, and that information trade-off will happen. So his position is, for the moment, not given away, but that will be changing as we proceed ahead into the round.
Absolutely, that will be subject to change, but which side will be the ones changing it is the question we're about to find the answer to. Sonic trying to do some vertical pressure right there, getting rid of those bandit batteries quickly, and potentially licked himself from that main bedroom closet wall. Speaking of licked, actually, he's not even close to sight. He's off on the roam once again, and I believe Nex has actually missed the cue of droning below the stairs. That might just be the end of the IQ. If the bandit pushes right now, he will. He's heard those gunshots. He's gonna peek. No, he goes for the C4 toss. That's gonna give his position away, and he's gonna have to fall back instead, having revealed his location to the side of the attack. That is unfortunate for the man right there. Not really sure what motivated him to go for the C4 toss. Potentially the numbers that were being thrown his way of that there's ex-attackers in that region. Be careful as the mute gets his head taken clean off by Void. Sonic finds Licht in the meanwhile. 2 bodies are dropped in UI. Once again, looking strong. They're coordinating. However, they still need to watch their flanks. There is still a Jaeger, and there we go. Adam's going to find Nightmare. The Hibana goes down. The flank watch wasn't there, and that is a potential collapse that UI need to hold themselves against. They need to make sure that they have their backs covered. Sonic does not need to use that concussive in that area, however. He just want to make sure that his back was covered as Void will be down in the meanwhile, but next will be the one to take down Blast. There goes another. That's the Malusi inside of sight, and it's all down to Adam, the last man standing, 1v3, I say, because Void is, of course, down. The reverb hasn't come in yet, and he's deciding to go through White. This could be the decision that gives him the round, but Nex is still watching here. The way his position, the peak's gonna come in. That's one for the Jaeger. It's a 1v3 now. The revive has come in onto the Nomad. 1v2. He's taking kills, and it's all down to the last 2 of UI. They need to hold post plant. Sonic's doing good behind cover, peeks and takes the kill, shutting down the Jaeger before he can get a clutch going for his team. We'll see that in the instant replay, ladies and gentlemen, as round 10 attack goes the way on second floor dorm to the side of UI, who are now on match point. They have secured match point, and it is now do or die time for the side of LP Gaming. 2 more rounds of arguably their best Rainbow Six to be played, and if they can't keep up with the flow, they unfortunately will need to try again next season. And sure, it'll be a little saddening to see them go, but on the bright side, UI, after trying for so many seasons, in fact, will be again 1 step away from getting into Division 3.
But you know, always that 1 step away from getting into Division 3, honestly. To everybody out there watching and joining us from your homes as well, you are yourself as well always a step away from getting into Division 3. We have 2 more seasons left after this, people. Season 4 and Season 5 will be coming soon as well. This is only Season 3. So that means you can have yourselves a chance to be here, be streamed on this channel, and be casted. Hopefully we get to cast your matches. So make sure you are on the lookout for the upcoming seasons as well. But coming back to this one season, 3 has come on to be quite the start. We are still into day 3 of the qualifiers, and we are already getting to see that little, I would say, variety and the diversity of adaptations from all of these teams, and the way they happen to just approach the game or approach the map, the sites, just in general, a very fun time. And more importantly, I'm learning. Honestly, I've got to see so many things I did not expect to see. Like, hey, like the early kill that next just popped. Light will be the one to take the fall, as just I just happened to confirm with you guys if you could hear that firecracker in my locality. But no, that out of the way, does happen to speak about the fact that a 6 to 4 and already a first frag with the IQ. I think it was a lucky shot, judging by the body language of how Next happened to react to the kill he got. But he's going to be very glad about it. Getting that first frag in on the Force is 5. 2 minutes left, and we are already into this matchup. Let's see if Ultra Instinct happens to snatch this away from LP Gaming or not.
One man down already. UI once again in the lead, this time at the cost of quite a bit of Nexus health, admittedly. He's going to have to be pretty careful on the gunfights he chooses to go for while they make this approach to side happen. We've got an Echo pick this time. Adam hanging back inside the side. Blast has picked up the Jaeger in his stead as AXH. That's unfortunate. Wanted to go up the hallway of Kitchen towards tower to see if he could get a flank off, but it was not to be for him. Got taken, his head got taken clean off by Nightmare. And that is going to put UI at an even bigger advantage, slowly but surely closing in on the win. They are but moths to a flame, of course. Will that flame singe them to death, or will it give them new life to get into the next stage? Next is going to be the one to take another kill as Nightmare takes a bit of damage from the mute inside the site. It's all down to Pikachu and Blast as one will go down, but that sounded like a Zofia impact, ladies and gentlemen. The mute shotgun comes out, is going to find one. Next goes down, but it's now a 1v4. All down to Blast, caught on white stairs as the plant goes off from Pakora Man. Gonna try and deny from below, but he doesn't have the angle or the intel. He knows where to shoot, but unfortunately could not get the kill. It's a 1v4 post plant for the man, and he has to try and make this happen for his team. If he can, then they will live to fight another round. But there's only so much he can do. There's only so many rotates he can make as he will try to play vertical. But Pagoda Man will shut him down. Blast will fall, and UI grow one step closer to getting into Division 3, ladies and gentlemen. That is something that they will be really, really happy about. Something I'm happy about personally, having seen their journey come so far for what is the 8th season that they are attempting to get into the division stages, including the previous league and, of course, this pro league. Is going to be a very interesting journey for those players in Ultra Instinct. Can they harness that power is the question that we will need to answer, because they will certainly need to if they want to get in and stay in Division 3. But of course, with all that being said, we're not quite done with this game, ladies and gentlemen. Oregon may have been won by Ultra Instinct 7-4, but we still got a little bit of this match to go from our own end, where we go into this little thing called Relive the Moment and talk about the best moments and highlights of the match that we just had. And it's going to be a pretty interesting one to look at, because we'll get to see some very, glaring mistakes from both sides. And really, it was just down to UI outperforming at the best, most possible moments from LP Gaming, while unfortunately LP couldn't quite keep up with the momentum that UI was putting forth. It just happens to be that way when it comes to these sorts of qualifier matches. And really, UI started off pretty strong, winning 3 rounds in a row, taking practically a lap of winnings around the entirety of Oregon. It's a good way to start on the defense, let me tell you. But then Last Prophet started to slowly try and bring things back. Lost Prophet, not Last Prophet. I don't know. I don't know what came over me right there. But yeah, the point at hand, UI did well, all things considered. They tried what they could, and the denial was really there from Nightmare. that round two, wouldn't have gone off as smoothly as it did for them had Nightmare not managed to deny the plant coming off. And then next, oh boy, this one is something I'd like to talk about, because this is something we see a lot of players do in qualifiers and even in Div 3, which is go for these peaks and plays that they really don't need to. The diffuser was planted on the corner of the door, and all he needed to do was just sit in the corner, bait the counter defuse, and just shoot the Zofia when she came to deny it. And that's all that was really needed from Next there. He didn't do that. He went greedy. And unfortunately, that greed paid him back in dividend, for that matter, losing UI that particular round. And of course, the other round on second floor dorms. It was a pretty huge back and forth. All things considered, one round taken by UI, one round taken by Lost Prophet. But at the end of the day, it went the way of UI, and that is, of course, what the stats will show, what the books and the records will speak for when all is said and done.
Well, when all is said and done, in fact, but something I happen to add about the match as well is UI. I think they had a little. I'm not sure if I should be using this word, a little lazy approach to what they happen to bring out in this match, because we did not get to see them doing essentially a whole lot. I wouldn't really say a whole lot new things, but it was them just trying to play in their own comfortable spot. It was not out of it. That's what I'm trying to convey here. They're not getting out of that comfort zone that they happen to put up for themselves, and I think that's exactly why the score happens to be that evident of the scoreline as well. We did get to see moments of Lost Profit Gaming trying to just bounce back at UI, and those are exactly the times that we happen to talk about that. Hey, UI coming out with everything that they've got was enough, honestly, but at the same time, it was something that LP Gaming was able to take advantage of as well. That I think that's pretty much everything that happens to some of the match. Speaking of which, as we happen to relive the moments on the side, like the final kill, we got to see it just a moment ago, the Jaeger getting taken down, but that being put aside, hey, definitely it's been an amazing first match that we just happened to see for the start of day 3. That's it. This is only the start. In fact, we've still got 2 more matches coming up in Blackjack, as you happen to walk us through there.
Absolutely. The next match we've got coming up, ladies and gentlemen, will be on an old favorite, Clubhouse will be the map of this showdown, and Espada will be taking on a Clickbait on that map. It's going to be a pretty exciting match, all things considered. I'm interested to see how Clickbait goes around playing their games. It's going to be my first time casting them as well, as we've seen Espada before, but we haven't quite seen Clickbait, I believe. And it's going to be a very interesting game indeed. Stay tuned. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and in association with ACD5 and... Oh, wait a minute, I messed up. Supported by Ubisoft and in association with AFK Gaming. I had to stop myself there, force of habit. Do excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. But with all of that being said, we're going to be moving into the second game of the night. Having just finished Ultra Instinct versus LP Gaming, we're going into Team Clickbait, taking on Espada on the map of a Clubhouse, coming to you live right now in the ban phase of this map. The match is going to be an interesting one indeed, as we've already got the bans running Maverick, the first ban on tonight's map. Not too surprising. Clubhouse, Maverick bans that go hand in hand, of course. The question is, who will Team Clickbait decide to ban? It is going to be Thatcher. They took their time with that decision, mind you, but Thatcher will be the one to get banned nice and quickly out of the game once again. And they have the first defender-sided ban of the map, and they will decide to take out Kaid for the first two attacker ban. Standard stuff in terms of a Clubhouse. They've opened up quite a few routes of entryway, especially for basement, with no hatches being, deniable for the side of the defense. Outside of that, kitchen hatch, of course, which can be impact tricked. Womai will be the final ban on tonight's map, and with that, we are to go for the first round between Team Clickbait and Espada, going into this beautiful match indeed. Foxy, what do you think we've got tonight, since you've seen Team Clickbait before, of course, a couple days ago? It's going to be an interesting one, isn't it?
Hey, Clickbait definitely brought out something I was not expecting out of them. I wouldn't say that, hey, they performed well. That's what it came out. I wouldn't say I was expecting bad performance, no. But they definitely happened to exceed my expectations, is what I'm trying to convey with my statement over there. But speaking of which, though, it does come down to say that ESP, that is Espada Esports, we've seen, no, it's just Espada. I just happened to recollect my conversation on why it is not Team Espada or Espada Esports. Anyways, coming back to what I was trying to convey is we've seen this roster play out before in our league itself. So heading into this, I think we do have some homework that we already might. Well, sadly, Gunmaker has left the game. He'll be back, people, with some newly made guns. Don't worry. That's exactly where he's off to, hopefully. Speaking of which, I will have to re-emphasize on a very good fact that I was trying to convey before my conversation happened to drift away. The fact that Espada, we've seen this roster play out before. Stoneheart, Raiden, Loyal, Kingo, and Shane. All of these happen to share a very good history going back into the league. And hey,
5 seconds.
just from the looks of it, it does look like an interesting match, and it does look very promising, because you happen to start off on a map like Clubhouse as well. It's expected from both these teams that they know exactly what they're trying to do, what they're trying to pull off. And speaking of which, though, Clickbait, we've seen them come out with really good performance, and they've got amazing gunners for that matter. And my question right now, to myself, in fact, and to this situation that we found ourselves in, is will we get to see Espada come out with that, I would say, a little more frag-heavy approach? Because just from the looks of it, I think Espada lacks gunners. And there you go, Lakshia's proving me right the moment I talk about it. Gets the first frag and gets the second frag. And that's just a cleanup. Insane, in fact, and Raiden will be the one to fall. And hey, it's not the best position to be in, and more importantly, that's it is a little disheartening to see that 2 minutes into the game left, and you've already got two of your defenders drop, a 4-3, making up for that man count disadvantage and keeping that advantage and pushing it further. Like I said, people, Espada, they do look very young and fresh, but they lack the gun skill that they need to beat Clickbait. Getting another frag as the bodies keep dropping. Kingo trying to get back into action, gears himself up for a possible clutch situation. He's the Echo, he can deny the plant, but that won't be the denial. It does come in, but that's just the stun a little too late. He gets a second frag on board. That's 2 kills for the man, 2 more to find. Can he get this clutch in is the real question. We've still got another attacker coming up. That's Lakshya the Ash, and he'll take care of it. Lakshya with the kills this round. 3 kills for the man, and we'll be taking a quick look at that in the normal instant replay. That's what it is now. But hey, speaking of which, though, what a beautiful round coming out from Clickbait. We've talked about this and exactly stopping me dead in my tracks in fact mid sentence. My man Lakshya, as I happen to put the question up that do we see Espada coming out with the frag potential, because I see them lacking that, and that exactly is what happened. Espada not able to stay alive against that gunplay that Lakshya happened to bring up. A triple kill for the man to secure the first round. We'll be headed to round 2.
Well, talk about Ashmain things, ladies and gentlemen. Luxia just coming up from the basement, cleaning up on his way, just picking up the defenders and putting them back into the benches, waiting for the next round, as it were. Really just swift and easy. Not much resistance from the side of ESP, as it was Kingu, the only one who did any damage to the side of the attackers. And even then, it was Luxia to come in and clean him up as well. It was just the Ash all over Espada, and that is something that Clickbait will be looking into taking advantage of. With the first round already in their favor, that's going to give them a big morale boost, a much needed one in matches like these. Qualifiers, they might not give us the absolute highest level of playable Rainbow Six in our region, but they are still very high pressure games for these teams. There's quite a lot at stake, as if you get into Division 3, that is another 3 weeks of very solid siege you will be able to play, with the chance of getting promoted to Division 2, getting into the MVPs, winning an SSD, or even, getting the prize money of getting the promotion into the next division. There's quite a bit to be had if you keep winning going into the division stages, while of course if you get eliminated in the qualifiers, you have to wait a full month. Well, not quite a full month, 3 whole weeks and few extra days, with everything that goes on in the middle. And we'll try again in the next season. Unfortunately, of course, not everyone can qualify as it goes. Only so many teams can, and that is why these qualifier matches are as full of pressure for all the teams involved as they usually are. We've got quite a few breaches going off already from the side of Clickbait, with breach charges, breaching rounds, and impact grenades from the Zofia being tossed around like nothing, as Teddy wants to go for his own breach on that jacuzzi wall of bedroom. But right now, they're just getting the roam clear done and applying a bit of horizontal pressure, if you will, but they've got to watch that vertical pressure from the defenders. There's a couple of roamers, in Shane being one of them, on the main stairs right now, just waiting and biding his time alongside Stoneheart and Raiden. That's 3 players outside of sight, not even on the same floor, who are waiting in the wings for a kill or two for their team.
That's exactly what they've got, to find a kill or two. And Lakshya once again starting things off very, very aggressive, very angry. He's going to find the first kill. Stoneheart is going to be the one to take the fall, and there goes the chef's nade. Zam picks up a frag, and that is loyal to drop. The SAS brothers on the side of the defense have fallen, and it does come down to Kingu on the Echo once again, and here's a fight that Raiden is picked, which he will win. A little shaky, but he's going to walk away with that, and that is a good pick. Lakshya, the man who's been doing so much heavy lifting, in fact, for the side of Clickbait, will be the one to get shut down. Kingslayer going for the quick drop, and the drop onto the bandit as well. What a headshot being connected. Kingslayer so low on HP that could get taken down with the follow-up from Raiden coming up right behind him. I don't think he's expecting that, but the breach is exactly what is with the Echo in a state of worry. Smoke being deployed from the ace just to cover his tracks as he happens to make his way inside. But the Echo knows that. He's made a quick rotate, but he looks away at the wrong time. Not the best of peaks to come out as you happen to make your way in. Kingslayer to finish up with the kill onto Raiden. That will be the Jaeger taken care of. Clickbait once again coming up with their domination that they have, that they intended to brought up. But that does happen to come out that Hey, Clickbait, they've essentially just been killing Espada um, before we can even hit the complete round timer. Honestly, that's been it, and they don't really need to imply on the plan. Just something I was not honestly not expecting to see in this match. We've seen players of Espada come out with so many more better days, I may say. And Clubhouse does happen to be a map where at least not me, not anybody would say that hey, this is not a map that they've been expecting or they cannot play. It is a very familiar map. So coming out at least from the start of the 2 rounds, Espada not feeling it. They
Attackers
happen
need
to
to
be on
locate and
defense.
defuse
They
bombs.
are looking to take that advantage, but it's not helping them. They'll be pushed to Church and Arsenal now, and we have caught the change up in the operator lineup as well. The Echo, no more of that. The Maestro will be brought out from Stoneheart, while Kingu will shift to the Legion, and Shane has brought out the Malusi.
Interesting decisions coming out from Espada as they've shifted from a site take situation where they can deny the plant more openly to having a push denial strategy with the goo mines of the Legion and, of
10 seconds to
course,
insertion.
the Melusi's Banshees coming in for
5 seconds
that
remaining.
denial of the entry. Clickbait, they're going to be looking into this. They're going to be looking
Attackers must
into
locate
getting
and
rid
defuse a
of
bomb.
those utilities as soon as possible, as once
Attackers
again,
drop the bomb
it's
diffuser. Attackers
not
have recovered their diffuser.
quite as excuse me, I have to take a bit of a pause. It's not quite as, massive in terms of utility denial as it used to be in Operation Shadow Legacy and previous seasons, because Neon Dawn has introduced quite the shakeup in how sites are played. There you go. One of the bigger changes is the ability to bait out these impact tricks. Kingu has had to use both of his impact grenades just to deny 4 pellets instead of 6. That leaves Habana with 2 extra pellets, and another 4 will get the breach done on Kitchen Hatch. Clubhouse Kitchen Hatch is no longer as safe for the defenders as it used to be, and verticality has once again been opened up for the side of the attackers. Clickbait, good emphasis and good use of their tools, their resources that they so desperately need to make this play happen. And they've been impressive so far. And Shane, in the meanwhile, that's a T4 toss, but is he going to find anybody? No, it is not. Let's see a tiny bit of damage done to him. Smoke grenades are going out inside of dirt, but the defenders are all up in a scramble as the attackers seem to have given them a run for their money. But Gunmaker, that's the worst time to be taking a team kill. The sledge goes down. Zam, the man with the grenades, is gone, and pushing that smoke is going to get that much harder. Lol is going to make sure of that as the smoke sitting behind that big gas cloud is waiting for the ace to walk into the range of the shotgun.
A shotgun to the face could be fatal, and there you go. It comes out. Lol will make sure he gets it. The smoke acting up to his name and making sure he stands up to it. Kingu, meanwhile, is down though, and that was, in fact, from the pre-fire coming in from Teddy Oi on the hatch. We've still got to see the push happen from the side of the attackers, but so far, Espada has done a good job of hanging in there. And there you go, as they happen to push that advantage further. Kingu will be up on his feet and doing some killing for the while. A 2 versus 5 situation is what he's put Clickbait in. Still trying to find Teddy Oi and Kingslayer. Kingu happens to push up slowly, but steadily enough, and it'll be insane to find the headshot onto Teddy Oi. It does come down to Kingslayer, the only one left alive, all the way on the side of Blue Extension. His position is being given away. 30 seconds left, no diffuser in hand. Does come down to looking like Espada might just walk away with this round. Ace, a clutch situation, but we've seen some amazing stuff come out, and this might be a possible mount onto it. Kingslayer, first frag comes out, and that'll be Radiant to take the fall. He's slowly making his way in through oil pits as Stoneheart gets the frag. The Alda comes alive. No surviving the Alda, not while Stoneheart is on site. That'll be Espada to get the first round on board, and really good stop to the momentum that they've brought out to what Clickbait tried to mount on, stopping that hat trick, making sure that they get their victory on Church. Arsenal will be headed back to CCTV and Cashroom. This has not worked out so far for this defensive team. Will it work out this time around? Because once again, I will be seeing Kingu bring out the Echo. So I think here's what's happening. Espada a little, I would say a little too adamant on their operator picks with the sites that they've opted for. I get it that they've thought out about these strategies and come out calculatedly, but um, it's just not been working out for them. Maybe they might have to change something up. They're not able to realize that. Not here,
Defenders, protect your
not
bombs
now.
from being
My
defused
real
by
question to
attackers.
them is, will they realize it soon enough? They've already let 2 rounds walk away from them, at least in terms of how you happen to see the first half go. Clubhouse on defense, something you always want to take advantage of. We've not seen Espada do that until for the last round. Let's see, let's hope rather they keep that advantage up as honestly, walking into this match, I expected nothing less of a tough fight, and that's what happens to put me in that little, I would say, series of questions. That hey, Espada, come on, fight back. Why are you not fighting? Do something. And they finally come up with that fight. 1 round in,
5 seconds
expecting to see more from them. The action phase will be underway as we proceed ahead onto round 4.
Attackers are moving out to locate. a
Well,
bomb.
having taken that first round, going back to CCTV might not be such a bad idea, all things considered, even if they have this same operator lineup with the same ideas that they've brought out before. Now, in round 1, it kind of seemed like it could have worked out. There was definitely a little bit of a body trade going on, but it wasn't enough for the side of Espada to take advantage of. They're going to try and switch things around this time with a few interesting mid-jammer placements from Stoneheart. Although I'm not sure if those are quite in range to
bomb has
deny
been
the
located.
drones every single lines of access, at least until the drones will inevitably spot the new jammers and give away those locations.
Bomb
There's going to be a
located by
pre-play
attackers.
C4 as well, from the looks of it, from Espada's defense. That's quite a lot of work going into just holding offside, but looks like he's going to start things out by taking off in Shane once again. Can anything stop this man coming up from the basement as Zam finds Stoneheart? That's your C4 already made it defunct, as that C4 will no longer explode, will no longer take a life. LOL takes a lot of damage because Zam's coming in. He's got a grenade in his pocket. He's going to throw it, but there's the ADS, but he's got time now to throw a second one. But there's the second ADS that unfortunately had to be burnt in that situation. Zam, unfortunately, will not be getting his SAS brother in this situation, his counterpart on the defense, as it is right now 5 versus 3, 2-1. Being the scoreline, Clickbait, they've got a good chance of taking that lead even farther.
Taking that lead further is what they're expecting out of it. And at this point, with the amount of entry frags Raksha has been dropping, I think it does happen to say that we will have to keep our eyes on him at least start of every round, because he does happen to pack a punch and always be the one spearheading the attack. And even on the side of the defense, somehow he's always out looking for kills. It's almost as if he desperately just tries to be that one fragger for his team, and he's been doing that amazingly well. Speaking of which,
Oh boy, it definitely has been very amazing for the side of Clickbait. Not so much for Espada, mind you, as Teo is going to find LOL. In the meanwhile, there's the smoke going down, as there goes Kingo as well. The man who nearly made a clutch a couple rounds ago, he's been down. It's all down to Raiden. It's a site retake for the Jaeger, as it's probably going to be a post-plant site retake as well. Coming in from bedroom, he's going to have to try and get a kill or two, make his entry possible. But there we go. The attackers know exactly where he's coming from, and it's going to be Gunmaker to finish him off. Raiden will be the one to go down final, as we'll see in the replay, the instant replay, that is. Round 4 goes the way of Team Clickbait. Their attack has been very, very good so far. CCTV has not been that good for the side of Espada, and I highly would discourage them from going to CCTV again. And looks like they will not. Gym Bedroom will be the side of choice going into the 5th round, as we are just 2 rounds away from the role swap, and Espada needs to pick themselves up, because if they don't, if they go into attack with a massive disadvantage, then there's absolutely nothing stopping Clickbait from taking this game and running away with it.
that's exactly what Espada has to look out for right now, getting maximum rounds on defense. Clickbait has been doing an amazing job of shutting them down at that. But speaking of which, Gym Bedroom is going to be the set. This is the first time we get to see Espada come out here. So hey, maybe a surprise element is what they need. But they've still got the Goyo. You've got the Echo being employed once again. And maybe, it's just maybe, that with Echo not being into play for so long, that the teams have just gotten a little too accustomed to just playing without him. and it's doing a good job of throwing off the attackers, but I'm not sure if that's a good cohesion coming out from the teams, because even with the information trade-off before the update was fairly easy with the echo drones. Obviously, as you could not see them, they would do that predator thing, and just merge with the walls. But no, now they're very visible, and you can very much spot them. So does come on to question of that utility being put into use. But once again, we are really loving Eisen coming down and putting the emphasis onto seeing things from Lakshaya's perspective in the beginning of this match, because that's where, yeah, there you go. That's where, as I was speaking about it. Well, I'm glad that just happened to add up to the joke that, hey, Lakshya does happen to come out with the entry frags. If he cannot find anybody else, it will be him leaving the match for now. That does happen to cripple the attack just a little bit, because I'm sure Clickbait has come up with a failsafe in their back pocket as to how they want to be approaching this. You've still got your hard breaches, you've still got your soft breaches as well. Enough utility that you can make room with, make stuff with, and just as we happen to go ahead into this round, things will unfold. Will Espada will be on that winning side of this or not? Teddy, you're already finding things. Wait
a minute.
How did the Echo get dropped? He's already made his way inside Secret Stash. This might just be the play. Teddy has taken control very quickly enough, honestly, and I don't think Espada knows this. They're not really in the position to capitalize out of this. As I speak about it, the mute has gone downstairs, and the push-up is in. Teddy, oh boy, he's going to get the double kill, and there comes the triple from the team. Zam drops Stoneheart. It's all under Raiden and Insane. The only two defenders left alive. It does not matter the man count disadvantage. It's the kills that are coming in from Teddy trying to find his third, but the C4 will be the one to come out first. He's just going to escape that for the while, and we still do have this possible retake situation. Make that a 1 versus 4 for Insane to fight it. The Goyo, not much to do, the Vector in hand. He's going to go for the full rotate. In fact, he's sending it. He's going for the full rotate because everybody from the side of the attackers are out looking for blood. And this has come down to a very ugly round for Espada, because this was looking like quite the advantage they could make use out of. But now, it's a post-plan situation for the Goyo to fight it. He'll get the frag onto the Zofia. A really good connect, but that's Teddy Oi, the man doing the work, the heavy lifting from Clickbait. He's gotten the kills, and he's gotten all of the impactful frags as well this round. What a performance from Teddy Oi. The Hibana definitely came out to be very strong, and just having that little alpha energy that he's brought out. Big alpha energy as we happen to move ahead onto round 6, the last round before role swap. Let's see what Espada happens to bring up and put on board with the things. At least so far, they don't really look good for them. Let's see what they happen to say about it.
And here we thought Nook was the only sneaky character on the side of the attack. Teddy picking things up in the absence of Luxia for the side of Clickbait's attack. What a round from them. And just like Foxy said, a very messy round from the side of the defense. Speaking of Luxia, he is back and looks like he's been given Nomad. A pretty good pick, all things considered. Sure, Nomad is not the 3-speed quickness of the Ash, but, she's got a pretty good kit, all things considered. An AK and an ARX. Pretty high-hitting, pretty hard-hitting guns. And Espada are going to have to be just a little bit more careful when they go for those inevitable flanks. They are forced into those situations, mind you, because of the way Clickbait likes to attack on second floor. All second floor side attempts from Espada have been shut down, and the attacking team has made sure time and time again that they keep winning these rounds. There's just nothing stopping them so far. Almost no resistance from Espada's defenders, who are looking very much out of it, very much all over the place. And they're not exactly bringing in the kind of cohesion you sort of expect to see, even if it is the qualifiers, ladies and gentlemen. It's not exactly looking too good for Espada's chances right now. Mind you, there is no second chance. You lose this match, you are eliminated out of this season, and you have to try again in Season 4. We do have 2 more seasons to go, but even then, there's something to be said about not taking opportunities as they present themselves to you. It might not happen again. 3 weeks is a long time to go. And Espada, or whichever team loses tonight, will be more than feeling that wait time.
Well, going right into round 6, we've still got some initial stuff happening from the side of the attack. As there you go, Sonat is going to start things off. He gets the first frag on board. It's a good frag. They've shut down Gunmaker, and that's the ace. That means your Selma breaches will not come out anymore, unless, of course, they've already been put to use. The Melusi helping out the smoke with a gadget on this all the way on the side of Secret Tunnels is going to come down to a very important anchor point for the defense to hold on to. And we've seen Loyal come out with good plays before holding down the Secret Tunnel. Will he be able to hold that down this time around? There's the real question. 4 versus 5 as we proceed ahead to the minute and a half. C4 comes out. That's the utility being expected from the side of the defense in the desperation to find a kill. And yes, they will. The Maestro gets tagged up and does get taken care of. Lakshya will be the one to find that kill once again. He's come out with the Nomad. This time around, we won't be seeing the Ash from him. And there you go. A skydive comes in from Kingslayer. He's going to get a frag. And that'll be on Winchain. He's going to get another as Raiden falls as well onto Lakshya. But here's a refrag finally. That'll be Kingo trying to keep things alive. He takes so much damage. And an embarrassing moment, a funny moment. As Clickbait does look at that, Teddy Boy. Just there you go. Just that is very shaky, honestly. I don't really blame him. You know, he couldn't have gone for the hipfire anyway. So yeah, going with the ADS and nah, it's okay. Honestly, honestly, it's okay. Teddy, he's come out with good enough plays to make me believe that hey, the man is an amazing gunner. This was just like just a little moment of brain lag as he's having another such moment. We happen to see the Chanka pick come out. No, it'll be a 6-pick onto the Mira, as we do happen to see the 6-pick happening in the Hibana as well from the side of the attack. And we will be going ahead on to round 7, the second half of this match, 5-1. What a dominating scoreline. Almost a flawless first half coming up from Clickbait, honestly. I'm not sure, honestly. All right, I've got to talk about this. Clickbait having to play on the first day and coming back to play on the day 3 as well. One thing that I'd like to point out is both these play days, just from the information I had from both the sides of these teams, I was expecting Clickbait versus X versus Y to go in a very close fashion. Speaking of the match in hand, Espada coming out to be a very good roster, well-known roster from that team that they happen to rock, but just not able to cut their corners, just not able to pull out what they need right now to defeat Team Clickbait. Is it just that, or is it that Clickbait has come out with such an amazing improvement from the last time we saw them, that everybody that we happen to see them last time around they just happen to stay way below in terms of what they've brought on board? Because this is not just a 5-1 scoreline. The way Clickbait has been composing themselves towards this qualifiers that I've got to see from them is looking very confident, is looking very good. We might as well get to see Clickbait making that Division 3 spot theirs, but that is still a question yet to be answered. Round 7 will be underway. We've got the action phase already up and running as the Bandit already hungry for his sweet early frags.
I mean, it's something that we love to see from Luxia. He is going out at it again. And he wants it. He wants those kills. He wants that advantage for his team. But is it going to be in shame to start things off for the side of Espada? They are, for the most part, all on second floor or roof, doing very thorough roam clearing for the time being. They've got the time to spare for that. Kingu, in the meanwhile, breaking windows open as he goes, just breaking down whatever soft barricade lies in his way. It doesn't matter if it's a wall, if it's a floor, hatch, it's anything that just happens to stand in his way. He's going to be an operator, but that's something that we'll get to see if that very rare circumstance fulfills itself. Minute 30 remaining for the side of Espada, as here we go. Kingslayer, he's waiting to get the impact trick done on the main kitchen hatch, but I don't think that the Hibana is actually going in that direction for the time being. Stoneheart, He's just getting his work done. Breaching the other hatches as the summer breaches of the Ace will open up dirt in the meanwhile. We've got the
located by
smoke
attacker.
gunmaker sitting there waiting to make a play happen. Espada, they'll know that, and if they choose to push through dirt and the main stairs at the same time, they might be able to catch the defenders in a pincer movement. He's there, forced out, and can't get the impact trick. No, he does. Just in time, he will deny Stoneheart's Exkyros fellas, and that's all of them gone. I'm not sure if Stoneheart was using all 6 every single time he went for a hatch. And if he was, well, that's unfortunate. Not the best use of Hibana's recently reworked Exkyros launcher. That's gonna waste a bit of time right there. Let's get taking 1, and it takes 2 from the second floor, going around from the back of the main stairs. We'll find Stoneheart and Raiden put the brakes on the push of the attack. Clickbait once again looking strong, and you can never go wrong with Luxia playing the way that he is. He's coming around. He could get another couple inside the kitchen if he just pushes right now, but he chooses not to. Makes the smart decision to fall back. Kingu comes in, takes 1, gets refragged. Lol is going for the plant, but he'll be denied by Gunmaker. It's a 1v4. Make that a 1v3. There's no time, and there's no attackers remaining. Clickbait will be the ones to finish off round 7, continuing the train of domination on Clubhouse today, as we'll see in the instant replay. Espada taking way too long to get into sight, way too long to get their execute started, and not watching their flanks at the worst possible time. 6-1 match point confirmed for Team Clickbait as they just stand 1 round away from finishing off this game.
Hey, it's been Team Clickbait. Let's be honest here. Let's not cut. Let's not. At least I'm not mincing my words. We've got quite the dominating performance from Team Clickbait, and it just happens to speak volumes. Even the last time we happened to see them here, they were just as dominating. A 6-pick comes in. Kingslayer will pick the Valkyrie over the Maestro. I don't really blame them, honestly. You're coming out with information plus that gun power you want to bring out. Maestro with the Valkyrie pick, a really good one. In fact, you will be able to bring out much more aggressive plays with the MPX. Gives you so much more movement, just as the speed on the Valkyrie happens to be more than the Maestro. And then, yeah, obviously the 3 Black Eye Valkyrie cams will be employed as well. So a good pick from them information will be their paramount priority, at least for now. But speaking of which, Espada have not exactly been doing a good job of denying them. That Clickbait has always had so much information to work with. Look at that, Teddy has brought out his own Mozzie pests to make sure he shuts down, in fact brings out the information denial as well for the attackers, rather than just making, I would say, just bringing out more utility on the side of the defense to work with. That being said, we've already got King going for the push. Loyal is taking some early damage. That's for the possible spawn peak that came out from something I don't know. We didn't see yet. Except for Loyal, nobody else has taken any damage, or maybe that could have been from his own teammate. Who knows? The soft reach has already been done. The more he gets aggressive, he gets punished for it. That was coming. He did not. It's Teddy. Honestly, I don't really blame him. He's come out with plays like these before, but that was not unfortunate. That was irresponsible of him. Not the best of takes you want to make happen. 4 versus 5 early into the match. 2 minutes left as the refrag quickly back. 4-4 as the man count equalizer has come out from Gunmaker. He's just trying to make sure he keeps the momentum going for Team Clickbait right now as they try and make this match point a possible victory for them. C4 goes out and the aggression is in from the Manusi as well. Look at the quick peek she is doing, and she wins that. Oh boy, Hibana not just not having enough bullets on that mag, I guess. But hey, it was Luxia you were facing off against, so it does happen to speak volumes of how that gunfight was going to go. And Inshane's shutting him down finally. The one notorious defender will be taken care of. We are proceeding ahead to a 1 minute and a half mark with 3 defenders alive and 3 attackers alive, and the aggression might still be on the cards for the side of Team Clickbait.
Absolutely. They will not be stopping their aggression right here, right now. But it's going to be directed towards where Espada is coming in from because they have done some damage to the smoke. He's a little low and he has to be very careful with how he chooses to disperse his gas grenades. One goes out, the second one as well. Although that got caught. Oh, but the grenade's not going to get caught. That's going to take his life away. And Kingu is done a good one. Does a bit of damage to Kingslayer, but I don't think he knew that the Valkyrie was right there. It's a 2v3 as Clickbait have for the first time been pushed into a disadvantage, but Gunmaker's going to find one, and that's well taken care of, but he's going to be refragged onto instantly. 1v2. All down to the Valkyrie. Do they know where he is? Kingslayer. He's about to go in. He's about to try and deny the plant. Can't get the angle through the drone hole. The Sledge now knows where exactly this operator is. He's just going to go prone, but the Banshee is giving away his position. He will still get the head. Kingu onto Kingslayer. Espada, after a very, very long dry spell, will finally take a round on second floor CCTV. We'll see that in the instant replay, ladies and gentlemen, as Clickbait haven't quite sealed off this match just yet. Finally, a round gone the way of Espada. 6-2 is the scoreline, and CCTV, well, it continues its trend of being the attacker-sided site for tonight's match.
Well, a nice breath of fresh air for Team Espada. In fact, they've got a round in. It will not be a 7-1 scoreline. We're headed to 6-2, and match points still obviously on the side of Team Clickbait, as Espada has to win every single round from now on. It's going to come down to a very difficult mount that they've put themselves in this comeback position. It will be an interesting turn of events as we proceed ahead. CCTV is once again the site, so nothing too different, honestly, that we've got to see from Clickbait. They've not brought out a whole lot of difference as they happen to move to the second half of this match. As we can just take a quick look at the scoreboard, Eisen. There we go, 11 frags for the man on Lakshya. He's definitely brought out quite the frag power, but Kingu, meanwhile, on the side of Espada, has been doing his bit. He's been the one just trying to get that frag duty done. But this game is more than just skills. And speaking of which, we will be headed to this round. Gunmaker just making sure the reinforcements are into place, and the setup once again not out of the usual. Very standard stuff, textbook, in fact, if I may. Except for the emphasis that I'm getting to see onto the Mozzie, and then coming out to the Melusi and the Legion as well. It does happen to come out to be a weird combination of what you are trying to accomplish with your operator picks in terms of your hold. But honestly, that's exactly what I was going for, Eisen. I'm sure you guys did not hear that on the back end, but speaking of which, they are emphasizing onto going a little more kill heavy with this, and no surprises there. Honestly, that was bound to happen. Teddy Oi has brought out his aggression before, and we've seen Espada come out to be on the wrong side of it, and Shane will be the one to find his head. At least he will be relieved of his head, for that matter, for the rest of this round. As we proceed ahead, 2 minutes left into this round, as we've not got a whole lot of map control once again from the side of the attack, because the moment they try to make this push happen, it's the defense always standing up at awkward positions, just having to outplay them with the frags that they've been putting on board. Lakshya realizes he cannot just do the bandit trick. He's going to fall back, and now that he cannot be doing the bandit trick anymore, he's let loose. He's going to go for the double peak. Stoneheart somehow walks away with that frag anyway. He's not taking any damage, but it will be Kingslayer who did take the fall. 4 versus 4, and as I was trying to speak about the bandit, wait a minute. The Zofia just happens to catch somebody off guard, but that won't be for a long amount of time, as the bandit has made his way back onto site, or at least onto the metal stairs.
Much needed kill right there onto Kingslayer right now, because that peak on the breach was very dangerous for Stoneheart. Right now, Teddy, however, is still on first floor. They still haven't cleared out the Mozzie, and that is a roam clear incomplete for the side of the attack. Zam, that is a very ill-advised position to be in, but it's even more ill-advised for the Slice to just break open the wall and still be in the animation of putting his hammer back in its place. So Raiden takes a bit more damage, and I believe that's from the Mozzie. Did he not get shot from his right? I am not sure what that was from the Zofia. Not looking towards the right as Kingo will go down as well. That is Zam taking him off the board. It's a 4v2. Make that a 4v1. Stoneheart is off the board. It's all down to the last man standing. LOL, the ace, C4. A heaping helping of damage done to the man. And it's all down to him cornered inside of construction. Runouts coming his way. Damage being dealt more and more. He's practically on 1 HP right now. And the man can just about stand, but not for longer. That's Teddy Art coming in to finish him off, and LOL will fall, and that is Team Clickbait taking round 9. We'll see that in the action replay, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to be a very, very, very good game from the side of Team Clickbait. Clubhouse goes the way of this team. They are the ones to win 7-2. A very dominating performance indeed from from Clickbait, really. It's all 5 players of Clickbait. Always,
honestly, yeah.
And yeah, like there's nothing anyone can say in this situation to deny that. Like Clickbait, ooh boy, they were all over Espada tonight. And unfortunately, Espada will have to sit out yet another season, ladies and gentlemen. They will not be able to go forward into the division stages. Clickbait, however, with that performance, their chances just went up dramatically. And tomorrow is going to be a big decider if they get into division stages or not. But of course, we're not quite done with this match, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be going into Relive the Moment to talk about the best moments, the highlights of this match that we just had. And I mean, admittedly, most of it is just going to be a Clickbait highlight anyway. And I just realized that's a bit of a pun, all things considered. So I'm just going to hand it off to Foxy and
Yes, as the Clickbait highlight, as we happen to talk about it, they came out with quite the performance, honestly. They have every right to boast about it as well. It's a 7-2 scoreline taken away in a very stylish fashion as well, if I may, because you just happen to see them come out with the early frags always. It's been Lakshya. This first round, even the first round for that matter, it was just this dominating performance from Clickbait, and they're not leaving any stone unturned is what I can say from the previous performance as well. It's not just this match that they happen to come out so aggressively, so angrily, just coming out and getting the rounds and getting the victories in. They are looking for that division spot, so hungry right now, back in the game. They want to get back in the game. They miss that action that used to go down in Division 2, Division 3. They need all of that back, and let's see if they'll be able to secure their spot through this qualifiers or not. Pro League is where they're headed, and I will be very excited to see what other teams from the bracket happen to converge and cross paths across them, because as we proceed ahead, the matches are bound to get so much more exciting, so much more, I would say, nail biting for that matter, as we happen to proceed towards the round 7 highlight. This was a good flank from Lakshya, and more importantly, I really love the decision making from him on dropping this hatch here. It was not about the kills at this point. It was about securing the round with only 10 seconds left. He knew that the denial that he needs is on site and not above on the hatch. That information trade-off between the defenders and between Clickbait, just in general as a team, was beautiful, and that's what happened to make them secure really good rounds. And hey, once again, coming down is very awkward to ending of rounds. It did come down to be a secured round for Espada, but look at this. 2 attackers post-plan situation. They have the very sweet time to just take care of the Melusi gadget, but neither of them decide to do that. A little too emphasized onto just getting the kill. I don't really blame them. Hey, you might be a little too busy getting the Melusi gadget and you might lose your life over it. I get that kind of thought process, but just letting that influence 2 of your attackers rather puts you in a little disadvantageous position if the defender happen to make that push. But speaking of which, it was definitely mistakes galore for Espada, but also a very satisfying and a very nice victory for the side of Clickbait to walk away with. That was us reliving the moment, as that was the second match of the day. In fact, people, we got to see really good stuff. Honestly, coming out from the first match, Lost Profit, they brought whatever they had on board, but it was just Ultra Instinct. If I may activate their Ultra Instinct and try and stay alive and kicking in this game for that matter. The second match coming down in the favor of Team Clickbait, taking that in a very good 7-2 fashion. And that was the two games that we just got to witness. We've still got more action coming up on your screens, people. The third match that will be against Fatal Flaws and VNux Esports is something that will be back in Oregon. In fact, we just got the information from the admin Eisen, as we'll be headed to that in just a bit. This is me, Fortran, and joining me is Blackjack, and we'll see you guys just after this break on the map of Oregon. We'll see you guys there. Stay tuned.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and in association with AFK Gaming. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is my co-host, Foxy, and our admin, Eisen, as we are here for the final game of Day 3 of the qualifiers of Season 3. That is right. It is the last game of the night, ladies and gentlemen, and it is Fatal Flaws taking on Phoenix Esports. Interesting name right there. On the map of Oregon. We started on Oregon and we'll be finishing up on this map as well. As Phoenix are on the attack, Fatals are on the defense. We're in the ban phase, going live on your screens right now. And the Thatcher ban is going to start us off tonight. Fatal Flaws not really doing anything too different, all things considered. Thatcher bans 4 days, and Phoenix have the choice of the second attacker ban of the map tonight. Oregon, of course, we saw it come out just a while ago. Fairly defender-sided, all things considered. Okay, there's something we need to talk about. Like, what is with the Blackbeard bans on Oregon as of late? Like, I understand that Oregon has plenty of windows that Blackbeard could potentially hold from and be a big nuisance. You know, second floor kids' dorms window is one of those, or the main window of site itself. But at the same time, you could argue that there are better operators to be banned. Some of the heart breachers who can also be as big of a nuisance. Even a Zofia, if you're feeling wild one particular night.
Jack, adding up to what he just happened to say, I think the Blackbeard ban is coming out with the teams emphasizing him on how they want to approach a possible hard breach situation when it comes to Oregon. We've seen the attic push happen, and with the Blackbeard, it's just a whole lot more easier. And even the blue bunker push, when the laundry push is, you're slowly starting to make it from the side of the bunkers, Blackbeard adds up to so much more value that you can just add into taking those gunfights and giving cover. But speaking of that later, we'll be taking a quick look at the operator line, or rather the roster lineup from both the sides of the teams here. We've got Pyromaniac, Heavy Expansion Tetra, Dark Lord, and Roximo Killer on the side of the attack as well. We have Rogue Bay, Dank, Angry Yang, Fallen, and X10 from the side of Fatal Flaws. Quite the roster. We've seen both of these teams play out before, and in fact players from these rosters, and it will come out to be a very interesting match as we proceed ahead onto round 1. Oregon, once again, we're back here. I'm not really bummed out about it, honestly. At this point, I think I was just expecting Oregon on our clubhouse anyway, but it does come out to both of these teams that they offer and the kind of I'd say uncertainty that they have to bring out, because judging by their past, it does turn out to be a very experienced team, both of them for that matter. But Fatal Flaws have had better moments just in general, and that's what has put them up on this day 3. They did not lose their matches yet. Will this be the first one that happened to lose, and the only one in the qualifiers or not, is the question we are looking to see answered, as round 1 action phase will be underway, and we are to go with this match.
Right now, of course, it's going to be mostly just testing the waters for both teams. They want to see what the other side is bringing out. They want to see the angle, the holds, the pushes, how they gather their intel, how they use their utilities. Excuse me, right there. And we're going to have a Jackal scan to start us off here today with, unfortunately, I believe that scan is inside of sight. So whichever defender that is not about to be tracked, to death, at least just yet. Unless, of course, they wanted to go for a rush. But Phoenix Esports will not be doing that. They'll be holding back. As it were, they'll be testing the waters, like I just said, seeing what they can get away with against Fatal Flaws and executing accordingly. As I know, we've got drones coming in with plenty of intel and a bit of utility denial on that back stairs area, as the hack will be breached by the Maverick. Nice and quickly, Gorshals get popped, but Fallen is going to be the first one to take a kill. Pyromaniac will go down, and no! Rogue Bay! Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. Fallen takes the kill, but that second kill was not on somebody he needed to. That is his own teammate, and that's going to equalize the man count of 4v4 between both sides. The Goyo still holding strong inside of Boiler Room's pillar. Right now, of course, with the Banshees, my man is coming in clutch to deny some of the security. Can the ace come in and find one? He does. X10 will fall. That's the Wamai just up on the elbow of Blue Bunker. Oximo takes one more in the meanwhile. Heavy is going to have a bit of damage done to him. That's the fire and the flames that he barely gets away with. Isn't going to be toasted tonight, at least not yet. 4v2 with a minute remaining. Only 2 defenders remaining. Dank and Ang as a down comes in onto one. Roximo. Will he be confirmed or not quite? But Ang will find one. That's Heavy taken down, but that's a refrag instantly. From the side of the attack, the Jackal comes in. PDW drum mag to take a kill. It's all down to Dank, and he has the diffuser inside of Blue Bunker right now, but his position is exposed. Roximo cannot push because of the gas. And now it's all down to this one man. He's done damage on one side. He actually takes the kill with a shotgun. SMG in hand. He can make this play happen. All he needs to do is deny the push. Dark Lord can't even go through there. And suddenly in this 1v1 turnaround, this smoke can win this. He's got the conditions right. He's just got to look in the correct direction. Dark Lord, he needs to find this last defender. He doesn't have diffuser. He doesn't have time. Can he get the kill? He knows where he is, but he isn't able to quite confirm it. He's got to turn around quickly, but it is Dank with the SMG-11. Coming in for the 1v3. And that's how you start off a match for your team, ladies and gentlemen. Even when they're pushed to the brink, they will not be tipped over. Fatal Flaw starts out strong, as we'll see in the instant replay. Very, very good first round indeed. A Dank 1v3 for the man to start things off as the first round goes the way of Fatal Flaws.
Well, a good first round coming in from them, and a very good clutch, in fact. Fatal Flaws definitely looked a little shaky towards as to how the mid-round happened to look like. But it was their player who made sure that, hey, not today. He made sure he stays more than just alive and kicking. Got that first round in for them. Having to be on the side of the defense just put them in a very good position as well. Just speaking from where they happen to stand in. 1-0 going into round 2. The side's going to be Kids and Doms. And speaking of which, the Laundry does come out to be a rather, I would say, unsettling side than compared to Kids Doms. So coming back to Kids, it's going to be an interesting site, and more importantly, a very comfortable site for Fatal Flaws to play with. They've got to make sure that they hold on to this and don't let Venus Esports take away the advantage. But I'm sure Venus is coming out for that. I think they'll just be out looking for heads there. It's a very, I'd say, a head-seeking, rather bloodlusted roster that we get to see from Venus Esports. Everybody from that side loves to be the fragger, and that's why. Take a look at the roles as well. We do get to see the huge emphasis in terms of selecting these operators, coming down to what primary gun that they happen to offer as well. And hey, it just happens to speak that, hey, Phoenix Esports loves to go frag heavy about their approach, and they like to get those kills done, and they get that done well and good. Just not good enough last time around, though. It did come out to be Fatal Flaws on top of them. Will we be able to see them take such advantages once again or not is the real question. Well, to the 2-minute mark, in fact, slowly and steadily, the attackers will make the push happen from the attic. This is going to be a very standard Maverick top call trick coming out from him onto attic, and that does get noticed by the Wamai as he happens to just try and scare him off. It won't be doing any damage. In fact, it's just that little engagement that they tend to have. Got no support right now as he already embarks on this little there we go. He's almost got it. I'm not sure if he'll be able to get that completely because there's a little angle that he's missed, and he'll have to come back to get it. And that's exactly the moment the Vamai will be able to outperform him. Will that be the case or not? He's taken some damage, and that does get him a little scared. The Vamai could go for the peak, but no, the soft reach has still not happened. There you go. It's finally been taken care of. The Maverick will make sure that the Zofia is here to finally help him as well. The push is still building up to this moment. 1 minute and a half left on the clock. We've still got the Ash coming up on the armory stairs. She might as well make this push happen, but it does come down to the crossfire that the defense is established. There you go. The first track comes in. Fallen will make sure he gets an easy kill onto the headshot onto Heavy. That's your ace from inside the breach taken care of, along with the diffuser drop on site.
A much needed drop indeed, with the ace going down and the diffuser being covered for. Foxy Motillo will be down and taken care of by Ang, but that's a refract coming in quickly. And another one from Rogue Bay. Dark Lord took a kill, but he had to go down, and it's a 4v2. Phoenix Esports' attack has definitely been given a lot to think about after this round. Fatal Flaws has seen that, all right, this is how they like to push. They like to take their time. They like to come in a little bit late in the round to take us by surprise, throw us off a little bit. And they've adapted accordingly. They know that all they need to do is hold the crosses and wait for the attackers to come to them. That little bit of what used to be the utility meta is still prevalent. You know, that always will be. If you can bait your attackers into falling into choke points and lines of sight, then that will be quite the play indeed. Roguebay barely manages to get away with his life, and it gets taken down. Not before he downed one, however, leaving the Maverick last man standing. Can he do this? Not quite. The Zofia can self-revive and already has, but there is no time, and that will be Fatal Flaws taking round 2. What a play indeed. Phoenix Esports not looking too strong, mind you, in this early beginnings as second floor dorms goes to the side of the defense as well. Very good beginnings from Fatal Flaws, and as we saw in the instant replay right there, it's mostly just down to them baiting the attackers to sort of follow them into lines of sight, to sort of try and force their hand, the defender's hand, to be revealed. But ultimately, all that ends up doing is revealing the attackers' plans, unraveling them, and putting them into a little bit of a twist.
Well, there you go. As I happen to talk about it in the prep phase itself, that the priority right now for the defense is going to be
Attackers
making
need to
sure they get
locate
this
and
round
defuse
on
as
board.
many bombs as
Kids
they
Doms does come out to be this very, I'd say, approachable site, you know, just in general, as how you happen to see about it, and just the way things happen to go ahead. Fatal Flaws, we got to see so much good stuff from them, honestly. Coming back from last time around, it was Angry Yang and Rogue Bay doing so much more work for this side of this team, and that does not seem evident this time around. Everybody from Fatal Flaws has had their moment. That took just 2 rounds into the match. Has had their moment of shining, making sure that they're providing the value and resources that they happen to come off as a team, and it's just working well. More cohesion, more teamwork, and what I've come to see from them, and that is something I feel Phoenix Esports is still lacks. We'll be headed to action phase, as a side this time around is going to be kitchen and meeting hall. So an interesting change of sides, definitely something that Fatal Flaws is looking to complete the full rotate on the triple sides rotation, as we like to call it. But hey, it's going to be a top floor take from the side of the attack first and foremost. Drone works coming in early phase, and this is just standard stuff, nothing out of the blue here, and more importantly, nothing special. But there you go, Jackal scans already on to extend the Bamai, who's holding his own ground above. He's got to be a little more careful as to what he happens to bring out, because does happen to play in a very pivotal position. This will deny so much more groundwork that the attackers are aiming to gain control over. There the Wamai comes out with a peek, and what a beautiful shot from the man. Extend will take care of the attacker as he tries to go for another, but he'll barely miss out. A possible death situation he just happened to stare into with that free fire coming in from the Zofia. Look at that. Still choosing to engage. He'll be taken care of. Finally, that frag did come in, but here's Hank to refrag right back in. Expansion Tretra gets one more, and there's another. This is a fest, and it's a fest of kills that Fatal Flaws will not be walking away in the advantage of a 3 versus 2 that they found in themselves in, as the Jackal going for another scan has put the Maestro in a difficult spot. There you go, the Alda comes alive anyway, and a quick headshot and a tap, and a swing back onto side. A 2 versus 2 man count has been equalized. A minute and a half left. The push is happening right now. It's going to come down to the crossfires that these defenders have made for themselves on side.
More than anything, the way Fatal Flaws has managed to take this round is, well, actually, Phoenix Esports managed to take the mid-round. Certainly very interesting. However, Ang, he needed to be a little bit more careful of that hatch sooner, as that is going to be Expansion Tetra taking that kill onto the Jaeger. It's all down to Fallen, the last man standing to deny practically everything from the side of the attack. The plant's about to come in. The marks are coming in of the fact that the planters are already there. The Evil Eye, however, has been taken care of, which means that Fallen will have to push up himself, but the barbed wires have given away his position, and that drone shot will have as well. He's got to go in, but the Maverick watching this entry, there we go. It's the Maverick to take his third. Fallen will go down, and unfortunately, Venux will manage to stop Fatal Flaws from making a successful lap of victories around the map of Oregon. Kitchen Meeting will go the way of the attack, a fairly good one, all things considered, given their previous few rounds worth of performances. But right now, they still have a ways to go before they can actually take the lead against Fatal Flaws. Some tells me that the meeting kitchen wasn't really something that Fatal Flaws have prepared as much, and that's why they had to sort of take the loss there, and they will be coming back stronger than ever before as we head into Basement Laundry and Supply Room in round 4.
Defenders
Well,
protect
that's
your
exactly
bombs
where
from
we
being
headed.
used by attackers.
Laundry and supply room. Coming back to this Fatal Flaws, they did not expect that Venus Esports will come out with a very beautiful cleanup in the last round in specific. Speaking of which,
Attackers have discovered
Laundry coming out to be a side where Venus can still bring out their best. They could go for the equalizer right now. That's exactly what they're looking forward to. Because Fatal Flaws last time around as well, they're looking very shaky on this site in specific. The basement side has just not been the case for them. It's not worked out for them yet. Hopefully it will this time around, but it just happens to the action phase will be the revealing phase for that answer as well. But
5 seconds to go.
coming back to what I'm trying to convey, Venus Esports, they've definitely had so much better cohesion coming back in the last round than they just did. Also, Fatal Flaws a little, I would say, a little too. How do I put this? They were too invested in getting the top floor control and refrag established that they put a little more than necessary man count on it. Honestly, it did come down to the fact that who's going to hold down the site for that matter. It is, in fact, the bomb site that you are protecting, but neither did the vertical holes help the defense on site. So this time around, I'm looking to see Venus Esports pull out a similar attacking round and maybe try and push this equalizer in and turn this into a 2-2 score line. But right now, it's going to be the push happening from the rear stairs of the tower. Zofia making the push slowly happen. He's going to get the barbed wire first, and then the concussives and Zofia's lifelines are coming out. Two defenders rather, watching the same angle. That's going to be deadly for the Zofia. She does happen to go for the peak. But right now, it's just a utility being expelled from both the sides of this match. In fact, for that matter, we've still got so much more noise happening on the side of blue bunkers because that's exactly where the push is happening right now. Pre-fires from the defense is what is scaring off the attackers, and that's why we don't get to see a very hasty turn of events so far. Not yet. Rogue Bait, he's taking so much damage possibly from that nade. Didn't quite get to catch that, and another one goes out, and Fallen will be the one to take the damage this time around. But that's 2 nades expelled, does leave the attackers in a little difficult position. But they've done their work. They are doing their work. In fact, Venus is definitely putting down so much map control and just scaring the defenders. Just put them in that spot where they cannot walk out. The pressure is real. 1 minute left, and the kill count will start to drop heavy. He gets the first frag. The refrag is right back in from the one. He makes sure he gets his own forces for re-established back into this. A minute left. It's 60 seconds that separates the fate of these teams. And Angry Ang will make sure he gets Dark Lord. A good headshot. That'll be a good conversion for the side of Fatal Flaws. A 3 versus 4 that we happen to see ourselves in. The blue bunker push being expected from the Goyo, but it'll be the hatch drop that has come out very hastily so from the Maverick.
Well, with time ticking away, Phoenix Esports needs to get in there, and they know this, but Fatal Flaws has done well once again, holding their crosses, making sure that they have each other covered. Rogue Bait may have gone down, but that is at the cost of 2 attacker bodies. Make that 3. Angry Ang takes another one, and that is going to be the Maverick taken care of. It's all down to Pyromaniac and Roximo Killer, the last 2 standing 2v4. How much can they accomplish is the real question. Pyro caught inside the blue bunker. There goes the action side of side. Diffuser has been dropped. Sophia comes in, drops one, takes the diffuser, but there is nothing stopping Angry Ang from shutting down Pyromaniac. Fatal Flaws, like we predicted, coming back even stronger after that temporary setback on a first floor kitchen meeting. Basement laundry will go their way very well indeed. Once again, all they had to do was play to their strengths and hold back. The longer they held back, the more it forced Phoenix Esports to try and force their hand, and all that did was make things worse and worse, and unfortunately worse. With the score being 3-1 going into round 5, Fatal Flaws are definitely taking advantage of Oregon's defender-sided nature. But how long are they going to be allowed to do this? Can Phoenix Esports finally bring this back? We're about to find out on Second Floor Dorms being the side of choice.
Attackers need
That's
to
exactly
locate
where
and
we're
defuse
headed.
as
Let's
many
see what they
bombs as
happen to
can.
offer. Domes and hey, kudos to Fatal Flaws coming out with a double victory on Laundry. Honestly, that does happen to be that site turning out to be the weak link for many defenders as they try and move on Oregon. But it's been Fatal Flaws making sure that they fix their mistakes and trying to stay strong while Phoenix Esports is trying to convert the best out of it. So Phoenix Esports definitely not exactly feeling the pacing that Fatal Flaws has brought out for this game, because it is definitely their patience paying off. First things first, Fatal Flaws has got a really good refrag potential that has only been established out of the cohesion between the teammates and coordination that they've put in, and I'm really loving that. Honestly, it's good to see things like that unfold. Shows the true competitive spirit of the game. And that being said, we'll be headed ahead on to round 5. One round before the role swap. It could come down to a very interesting turn of events, because just the way this round and the next one happens to go down, Fatal Flaws will cement themselves, or rather not cement themselves, depending on how the match happens to unfold. 3-1, looking to make it 4-1. Let's see if that is allowed by Phoenix Esports to happen or not. Zofia just watching the hallway while the Ash happens to make some sort of destruction happen on the bottom of the breach where it's supposed to go down. The push is in from the armory says that does get noticed on the cam, and that means it's a goal. Whoa, what a shot! Angry Yang, what a connect onto the Zofia. Pyromaniac, good night, my man. So, very good kill coming in from him with the floorboard to his advantage as he almost tries to blow himself up. That'll not be the case. He's going to go for the redo on that C4. All it does is just happen to, take out the hearing ability off of that Rappler, but that's all it'll do. Roximo Killer will be the one to make sure he gets the final frag. But that's so much more time of the attackers. And there goes a free kill. Ellie walks away with one. Not the best of positions to find yourselves in Rogue Bay. Not the best of positions to be playing at, for that matter. 1 minute and 20 left, and here's a wild peek from the Wambai. Almost fighting the kill onto the Maverick, but that'll not be the case, at least not yet. You've still got the smokes coming out. That's just a deterrent at this point. It's just trying to take off attention from what the defenders are so solely focused on, is the plan denial and the entry denial on the side. The white peak is in, and that is going to be spotted by the Wamai, but that is X10 with the one tap and rubbing it in the face. He's going to get a nice little click for himself as he's trying to find one more. He won't be able to do that. Takes so much more damage, and the push-up from the Maverick is going to find him. The attic push was not expected by him. That was the crouch walk from the Maverick, in fact, from the side of attic. A 3 versus 2 still re-established. Could be a position that the defenders look themselves to convert on, but that does not look like the case. Fallen going for the plant. Got to go for the C4. Plant is off, though. We've got a post-plant situation that we have kicked ourselves in. A 2 versus 2, make that a 1 versus 2. As it's all under Fallen, he's got to find 2 attacks. Very angry for that matter. Attack is Dark Lord and Roximo Killer slowly converging on his position. They know exactly where he is, but this quick rotate is what has got to throw them for a spin of confusion. Won't last long. Roximo Killer will make sure he gets the frag. Weenox Esports will get round 5 on board. It will not be this domination from Fatal Flaws. They'll make sure they try and put themselves back on their feet again. Weenox Esports put this round on board. Round 6 will be underway. Let's see what we get to see before we head to the second half of this match. Will we get to see a possible equalizer coming in on a 3-3 scoreline as we head to round 7? Or is this going to be the Fatal Flaws show? Let's find that out as we proceed ahead.
Dorms will be the side of choice once again, but more importantly, Phoenix Esports reading into Fatal Flaws as a defensive strategy and deciding to take it apart at the seams. The only way to really push a super defensive team out of that shell into the open where they're more vulnerable is to
Attackers need
force
to
them
locate and defuse
to
bombs.
play aggressive, and Fatal Flaws unfortunately were forced into that, and it couldn't quite adapt to the situation at hand. Phoenix did well, and they made it such that there was nothing else Fatal Flaws could do other than try to be aggressive, and unfortunately that turned out to be a fatal flaw for the side of the defense. I just had to, Foxy, I just had to. But as it were, of course, it's not quite, that bad. They've just lost a round. They
10
still
seconds
have the lead, and it's only a one-round lead, sure, but they're on the defense. They can still make this a
5 seconds
4-2,
left before
which would be the ideal situation going into attack. If they
Attackers
allow
are heading out
Phoenix
to defuse the
Esports to
bomb.
equalize right now on this round, then their attack will be that much harder. Phoenix Esports will start gaining momentum and start denying the same momentum away from the side of Fatal Flaws' attack. And Phoenix will be looking to do exactly that right now. It's going to be a mind game and a minefield of momentum-based attack and defense. And we're about to see which side is going to get away with the first kill. Right now, we've got the Goyo, I believe that is. Once again, inside of Armory, he's about to be pinched by the Ash. Roximo Killer on the Armory Repel, Window Repel. But is there anybody else to apply pressure? I don't think so. And I feel like, no, Angry Yang is actually still there. And we've got an ace this time around on the corridor window to shut down the rotate back from the Goyo. There's going to be a lot of damage done, but X10, hello! The man has pushed up very far. He's going to be seen, and he's taken so much damage. Such a bad play right there. As Angry Yang went down in the meanwhile, that's two very big bodies taken care of early. Make that, well, one from the attackers. Rogue Bay takes on Heavy. A big drop comes in. Can he find one more? Not quite. Damage is done to him instead, as he will have to try and play with the situation that he has in hand.
Well, a very, very difficult position that he's found himself in, but a 4 versus 3 is what he's got to fight against. And playing in a very good position as well right now, so close to a trophy. It's going to come down to the defense, just making sure they get these frags on, because right now it's the man come that happens to be lacking from their side. Distant mist of this fire. It will be Fallen who gets the C4 kill on a Roximo Killer. That's going to be a very important one, in fact. A very good one as well. The push from Addict's happening. That's two attackers already accounted for, but it's going to come down to Fallen taking so much damage. So is Rogue Bay. The attackers looking so much more healthy than compared to the defense right now. It's going to come down to who wins these gunfights, and reinforcements on that rotation. Really good play from the side of the defense does put them up on a very good avenue that they could use to fight against. But the shield will be taken care of. For Pyromaniac gets a frag on the Rogue Bay. That was a Jaeger taken care of. A 3 versus 2 that we see ourselves, and the clock is ticking down. 30 seconds. It's a kill frenzy that has got to come out, or the plant from the attackers, which will be it. Already the defense watching this very closely. They've got so many angles being watched right now. It's going to come down to the crossfires that they have to establish. And there you go, the peak is in. But that's also the SMG-11 going for the spray. Fallen has got to get this frag, but it'll be spotted by Pyromaniac. The Zofia comes in with a white swing, and she gets a plan down while the smoke tries to mount this 1v3. Possible clutch, gets a frag. That'll be Dark Lord to take the fall. They still got the push up in, and that'll be Expansion Tetra shutting down a possible clutch situation. From the side of the defense, Phoenix Esports will be putting their round on board, as Fatal Flaws not quite feeling this round in the last round. For that matter, 2 rounds, it's been Phoenix Esports that have been bringing out their performance. 3-3 people. The equalizer is on board, and we might as well see them. How do I put this? Them take away the advantage from Fatal Flaws, as they'll be the ones to start off on defense on the second half of this match. As we take a quick look at the scoreboard, there we go. Thank you for that, Eisen. Got Expansion Tetra with 6 frags of his own, while on the side of the attackers now, that is Fatal Flaws, we've got X10, or rather Dank, doing the work. 7 frags for the man. He'll be playing the ace as we proceed ahead on to round 7. Let's see what the second half has to unfold.
Well, the first thing that we're going to see on the second half is that
Attackers
dorms
need
will
to
be the
locate
set of
and
choice
defuse as
for the
many bombs as
third
they can.
time in a row, ladies and gentlemen. And they are gonna have to be. They're gonna have to do a little bit of something. That is fatal flaws. They're gonna have to do a little bit of something with this. With this round situation that we seem to have found ourselves in. 3-3 is the score, and I do apologize for having to take a pause right there, as our main man Foxy over here seemed to forget that he accidentally
10 seconds
muted
left before
himself,
insertion.
and he was going off in the background talking about
5
whatever
seconds remaining.
he likes to talk about in this situation. Well, it is what it is. We make these mistakes
Attackers are
every
moving
now
out
and
to
again.
locate a bomb
It's
and
just
defuse
it
it.
just happens. Discord. It can be funky sometimes, and sometimes the hotkeys get pressed accidentally. I mean, we all know this. It's been a thing for a while now. We're gonna move on with round 7, the other half of the role swap. Phoenix Esports on the defense. Roximo Killer already being a little bit aggressive right here on the garage area. Sees one, isn't able to do any damage onto X10, who will fire back, but that's just bullets being traded and not bodies. That, of course, is going to be good for both sides in a way, as they haven't lost an early kill, just out of a bad peek or a bad play. Good first little confrontation between both sides, and all they have to wait for is to get Roximo Killer out of first floor, either by, killing him outright or by forcing him back into site. Of course, the former option is more profitable for the side of Fatal Flaws. Right now, they also have other things to worry about: hard breaching, utility clearance, and getting the setup ready for their final execute. Heavy, he's joined Roximo Killer on the roam right now, and that's going to make things a little bit harder for Fatal Flaws if they want to go up from first floor. The Goyo wants a piece of whatever's going down in tower, and that might be a big blow if Fatal Flaws are not watching their flanks.
Fatal flaws, they've definitely got to watch out for the flanks. Rogue Bay has brought up the Nomad as well, just making sure that all of that is accounted for. And there you go, nice for my placed Magnet is going to take care of one of those Sophia's concussive nades, as that was a possible a possible lifeline for the shield that she happened to bring out. Excuse me there, not the concussion ones, but still. That is a lifeline you've taken care of. Really good stuff from the side of the defense. Phoenix Esports looking like they might as well be the ones to walk away with the first defensive round right now in the second half. Getting see a flank coming out from Roximo Killer. He'll be the one on the side of meeting split. But so far, he's not really made the run for it. And it's okay. He's still got time. 40 seconds. Someone who does not have time are the attackers. They definitely are looking very shaky, and as we happen to move ahead is a possible lucky wall bang was into play through that barricade, but no, not right now for Robe. As we see the kills coming out, Angry Ang will be getting the frag onto Dark Lord, and that'll be a bandit taken care of. We've got the push happening on the side. Canisters are coming out. Robe gets another frag. Action is here to fall in as well. It's a fallout for the side of Phoenix Esports. Rogue Bay pops off. Fatal Flaws with the kill. Rogue Bay is on site. It's a cleanup. What a flawless shot coming in from Fatal Flaws, looking like they were about to lose because of the time not being their friend, but they definitely had the gunplay on point, coming out with quite the performance. Round 7 was there for the taking. We take a quick look at that in the instant replay, but more importantly, it was a quick look at the trust they had on each other with that push they made. Honestly, that took a series of kills to turn out to be something successful, and that's what Fatal Flaws happen to bring out on board. Once again, cannot fail to notice that this somehow gives me Power Rangers vibes of the name that they just happen to have. Fatal Flaws sounds so much more like a Power Rangers group, but hey, they've definitely been entertaining us for that matter. So yeah, that being said, we'll be headed on to round 8 as 4-3 is the score, and they're taking the early advantage on the second half. But I wouldn't really bank too much on Phoenix Esports. They still are on defense, and they still look very determined to take this match further.
Absolutely. Phoenix Esports, they did what they could in that round, really, but it came down to Fatal Flaws getting the jump on them. I don't think Phoenix expected them to just suddenly amp up the aggression and just get in there, if you will, send it, as they say. And unfortunately
10
for
seconds
them,
remaining.
Fatal Flaws was more than ready for it. Phoenix, they're going to have to work on their very late game hold in case of a similar situation. Of course, you want to be
Attackers are
prepared
moving out
for
to
as
locate a
many
bomb
things
and
as
defuse it.
possible in this game, and very late game aggressive pushes have been in for so long that you expect to see teams already prepared for those particular situations, but maybe not for Phoenix Esports, maybe not just yet. We've got once again Heavy and Roximo Killer on the roam, the Goyo all the way to a small tower, already trying to go for a bit of a peek outside the small tower door. Does a bit of damage onto Angry Yang, actually, but he's not going to get a kill and not going to get damage traded onto himself, so not going to he's not going to lose anything in that peak, in that push. The only one who lost anything was Angry Yang, just about 10, 20 health worth. And with that, Phoenix Esports are going to have to just fall back in again. Fatal Flaws, they have seen this before. From the defensive team, they know what to expect for the most part. But Fatal Flaws, excuse me, they've fallen from Fatal Flaws. Has to be careful on how he gets this breach done. This is a very interesting decision he's gone for. To sort of half wall one side and then go for the other side, or is that just, oh, that's a line of sight, never mind. He makes a line of sight and then goes for a much more concealed breach behind that big blue box shelving unit thing inside. Vatic give themselves the entryway as the air jab goes off down below. That signals the fact that there was an attempted flank on the base of tower. And there still is one. You can see Heavy just off the side with the silhouette of the Goyo coming up off the tower stairs. At least he tried to. He's going to fall back because I think he knows he won't be getting away with getting this peak in. He can't get that flank in with the Nomad still around, and he can't get rid of the Nomad without using a C4. He hasn't, of course, but he can't exactly push up to make that C4 play happen because of the air jab in position waiting for him. Well, with the current situation as is, 50 seconds remaining for the side of Fatal Flaws, they can only do so much. But here we go. Rogueway's going to find one, and that's a big one indeed. That's your Nomad taken care of, but the air jabs have already been used. But even then, you don't want to have Rogueway killed in this sort of a situation. Phoenix Esports will be happy to have taken that very important first kill, and there goes another one. Heavy takes down Fallen. Slowly but surely, they're looking to equalize as Darkler will find Angry Yang, and this is looking more and more like a round taken by the side of Phoenix Esports. Fatal Flaws are being pushed to the brink, but can they still come back from this 2v5? It's not impossible, and Dexter's gonna find one. Can he find any more, though? He can't. Blocked outside of sight. He's watching for flanks where there aren't any. Dank can't even get through the smoke gas, and with that, time will run out. Damage was done already by Phoenix Esports as the side of Fatal Flaws will lose round 8 on second floor dorms. It's going to be Phoenix finally taking that top floor site, equalizing the round count 4-4 going into round 9. We're getting closer and closer as this match progresses, and some tells me we might just end up seeing overtime pop off between either side, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, whether or not that is remains to be seen, but yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting, all things considered. As it turns out, Foxy seems to have had a bit of a issue on his end. He's no longer with us, so everybody's stuck with me for the time
Attackers
being.
need to locate and
And
defuse as many
I'm
bombs
going
as
to
they
try
can.
to keep this as entertaining as possible. Been a while since I've done solo casting, and it's going to be an experience. And, several months, actually, yeah, several months since I've done any solo casting at all. But, of course, that is besides the point. Fatal Flaws, they have... they've done well, or they were doing well initially in the first 4 rounds, but then they started losing the plot. Rounds 5 and 6 went the way of Phoenix Esports, who managed to equalize on the first half, taking taking their attacking rounds as they came, their opportunities to punish the mistakes of the side of Fatal Flaws' defense. And then, of course, on the other side of Rose Swap, it's once again been that back and forth between both sides, which really means this match could go either way, and it's kind of getting harder and harder to predict, to call that this match is going to go towards X team or in Y situation. And that, of course, makes these sorts of matches that much more exciting to cast, ladies and gentlemen. And I do hope that both of these teams can continue putting on this kind of a show, regardless of who wins or loses tonight, because, of course, it will come down to one of these teams to win, proceed farther, and potentially get into Division 3. That's what this whole qualifiers has been for, to get teams into Div 3 and to see if they really are ready for the big leagues, as it were. You know, test their mettle of sorts. And both Phoenix and Fatal Flaws are going to be trying their hardest, but you know, one has to win, one has to lose. That is going to be the question, the ever-present question that we are here to answer for both of them tonight. Drones are coming out from the side of Fatal Flaws' attack. They know that they have to slow it down. They can't be too aggressive early, but they can't delay their push until it's too late either. They're doing the roam clear, as you should, and I believe Heavy might still be on the roam, the Goyo, but other than that, there isn't anybody out and about. There we go. On tower stairs, the Goyo waiting for his chance. Has fallen, interestingly enough, is gonna go for the main hatch just outside of laundry, the laundry entry hatch, if you will. That's the one he's gonna break wide open because there's an electrical on it, stopping the Hibana from getting the hatch breached. But X10's gonna find one. That's Dark Lord taken care of, and a much needed kill as flashbangs are coming out. That's a white area push coming in from the side of the attack. Fallen. He looked away at the wrong time as Heavy's coming in. He's gonna find one instead. That's Dank, and Rogue going down. Roximo Killer takes a second kill, and that is gonna be very influential for the side of Fatal, for the side of Phoenix Esports, and also Fatal Flaws. But Angry Ang will go down in the meanwhile. The attackers are slowly crumbling as Oregon's defender side of nature goes to work. Roximo Killer takes a second. Heavy takes his second. Fallen, and X10 will go down. And with that, round 9 goes the way of Phoenix Esports, who are slowly starting to turn things around, as we'll see in the instant replay right there. And we move into round 10 with Phoenix finally taking the lead for the first time in the game, and it couldn't have come at a better time, ladies and gentlemen. First floor meeting hall and kitchen will be the site of choice, and they are now the ones ready to make a full lap around the map of Oregon. And if this lap is successful, then oh boy, it's gonna be a story for the ages. Six pick out of the Mozzie into the Wamai, coming out from Dark Lord, as meeting needs to be, of course, reinforced, and attacker utilities need to be denied as much as possible. And that is something that, of course, Fatal Flaws will need to look into. They'll need to try and get this taken care of quickly by bullets or by throwing flashbangs and other utilities in the direction of those Wamai magnets and ADSs. One thing that is slowly starting to take shape, if you will, is the way the ADSs and magnets sort of are being dispersed. They can't actually be clumped up in one single room anymore, because both of them have substantial range, and to put them in a way where they won't interact with each other is borderline impossible. And I don't want to say completely, because of course there might be some rooms, some sites that allow that. Other than that, you know, you're barely skirting the line of sight of both of those gadgets. And since, of course, if a Wamai magnet pulls anything, and I mean anything, into a Jaeger ADS's line of sight, well, that is both of those utilities wasted. The magnet will still explode as its own timer has been set off, and the ADS will have used up one of its charges. That's a pretty interesting change, and a change that is going to contribute in lessening the overall sort of the influence of Jaeger and Wamai in a competitive siege, and both sides currently are waiting on that play. They're looking into it. They're looking into changes. Every team really is at this point, and changes will need to be made to adapt to this transitionary period into whatever new meta Rainbow Six Siege finds ourselves in. But no, what was that shot onto the Ash? Heavy just turns around and headshots X10, who tried to go for a surprise peek onto the castle inside of kids' dorms. But oh boy, that was not to be for X10. He got taken down something fierce right there. As Dark Lord, he now knows that there's people above, and he is going to try and make some changes in this situation for the side of this. For the side of this team, Fatal Flaws, not looking too good. Losing a man early like that, X10 at that as well. Your Ash getting taken out while trying to make a surprise play as Roguebait will try and fire back. That is heavy. The refrag taken care of by taking out the castle. Much needed kill for the side of Fatal Flaws, but with a minute remaining, roughly 60 seconds remaining, Fatal Flaws, they've got the time to do this, but they haven't made any headway towards site. They haven't actually gotten started clearing out utility. They've got operators close by. Dank is going for the hard breach as we speak, a line of sight that is much required, but does he know that there's operators right next to him inside the security? We've got Zophia's lifelines being used. That's the impact being taken as Angry Ang will find Dark Lord in the meanwhile. That's another big drop from the side of the defense and make that a third. Angry Ang's second expansion. No, excuse me, that name's too long to say in the heat of the moment. The smoke will go down, and that is going to make it a 2v4. Phoenix Esports looking a little worse for wear right now. As if we're going to see another equalizer right now, well, color me surprised. But Pyromaniac and Roximo Killer here to stop that. That is equalized. The man count between both sides. Diffuser has been recovered, but there's no time. Fallen has to go for the plant, and Angry Ang has to hold, and he will. Pyromaniac will go down. It's all down to Roximo Killer coming in from the back, but there's an air jab that has stopped him in his tracks. And Angry Ang is now going around. He could go for a flank behind the Jaeger, finish off Roximo Killer, but he doesn't have to because Fallen is watching the entry angle. There's a mark coming in as well, as it could be the end for the lead that Venux took. It's a 1v2 post-plant. There's only so much time that the Jaeger has, and unfortunately for him, Fallen had the right angle already on lock. We'll see that in the replay, ladies and gentlemen, as round 10 goes the way of Fatal Flaws. And as we move into round 11, it's still anybody's game. 5-5 is the score line, and we're headed to second floor dorms once again. As a first floor meeting, turns out that is what stops defensive teams tonight from taking that full lap around Oregon. With that being said, of course, in lieu of our co-caster Foxy, unfortunately, having a little bit of a disconnect, we've got Baba Gusta here in the lobby. Baba, how do you do tonight?
Hello. Hello there.
Yes, indeed. How do you do, Baba?
Attackers need to
Well,
locate
I'm
and
actually
defuse
doing
bombs.
great, Jack. And looking at the match here, Phoenix versus Fatal Flaws. My God, this is some heated match I've been in here. 5-5. First floor dining. Post plant and Fatal Flaws did win it out. They're just giving one hell of a tough time for Venus Esports on defense, especially on map Oregon, since the major change that we did get to see. Goyo being picked on the start of Venus Esports on round 11. Second floor kids will be an interesting one. And looking by it, we do see some interesting ADS placements coming in from Roximo Killer, especially from the Jaeger.
10 seconds to
Two
go.
ADSs towards the attic and one ADS being placed towards the second
seconds
floor
left.
kids entrance towards the trophy room. No reinforcement being made towards the attic wall
Attackers must
from the
locate
trophy room, and
and defuse the
also
bomb.
there's only one reinforcement being made towards the rotation. Although it's very interesting to see Heavy doing thinking of being very aggressive towards the construction that is upstairs of the construction, and Roximo Killer towards on garage. It's going to be one interesting match to watch. 5v5 when it comes to both man count and the round count. Oximo Killer trying to make some amends here. He wants to get those wins as soon as possible. An aggressive early kill would be much more effective for Phoenix Esports to get back in the game, knowing that Fatal Flaws did equalize the round against them on Attack Oregon.
Oh, absolutely. Given that it is equalized between both sides, ladies and gentlemen, Phoenix Esports, they took the lead. And mind you, so far in this game, they hadn't been able to take the lead at all. They've been busy equalizing against Fatal Flaws, trying whatever they could, but it just wasn't quite working out. And finally, they managed to take a lead, only for it to be equalized by Fatal Flaws. Speaks volumes about both sides playing this game right now, as Rogue Bay is going to take a lot of damage from Expansion Tetra right there. The Womai doing a bit of damage, but that disc toss, not exactly the best one. Mind you, he's going to rethrow that one as Fallen. We're going to make that concealed breach by the big blue unit of Attic. Just giving himself a little bit more cover to work with right there with a minute 30 remaining. Fatal Flaws, they've got the time to get into sight. They've got the time to make the execute happen. And with no bodies already being dropped, it's just going to make things even harder for Phoenix Esports. On the other side, however, with Roximo Killer and Heavy still operational for the side of Phoenix Esports, for them to be, still 5-man up, it's going to be that much harder for Fatal Flaws to get in and get into sight to get the plant off.
Well, hard breach is opened, and so does the C4 from Heavy, which claims the life of Gang, making it a 5v4 situation. This round will go to Phoenix Esports if they would hold their, when it comes to the execution phase. The Fuser is down, still down to us on second floor, kids. There is Nomad that can be able to recover back, but they do need to be careful of those two roamers, the Goyo as well as the Jaeger, in which Goyo is still holding towards the classroom. He has that vertical line of sight. Just needs those effective kills to make sure that they will reach the lead. Fallen already in towards the attic, pre-firing on the second floor. Kids won't do any damage, nor the man count, in which Expansion Tetra will do it, eliminating Fallen, making it a 5v3 situation. A very expansion, and talking about it, the MP5K will claim Rogue Bay, and so does X10 with the SMG11, which leads to Angry Ang, the diffuser in hand, in trophy, and he's going to go down with Expansion Tetra as well. Phoenix Esports, flawless round 11. Second floor, kids, as we take a look at it in the instant replay, we now proceed to round 12, where Phoenix Esports is in the lead, and they are in match point.
Well, match point confirmed, but mind you, ladies and gentlemen, it is the round of ones. That means it's one round for the side of Phoenix Esports to finish off this game, end it right here, right now, and go forth to the next stage of the qualifiers, while there's only one round remaining for Fatal Flaws to equalize once again and give themselves that second chance of winning by going for overtime. Of course, it could go either way, and overtime will certainly be the more exciting option, but for Phoenix Esports, that is not the case. They want to finish this right here, right now. They want to be done with it, and Fatal Flaws not quite yet. And given that the site is, of course, on a basement, laundry, and a supply room, it could certainly work out for the side of VE. Basement Laundry has just been one of those sites today. Even in the Ultra Instinct game earlier tonight, it was the site that the defenders seemed to win most often, all things considered. Second floor dorms was a more even split between both sides. But, of course, that game was nowhere near as close as this one. We're 6-5 here against Phoenix versus Fatal Flaws, while LP Gaming could only go up to 4 rounds against Ultra Instinct, who managed to win it 7-4 in the end. And a good win to them, all things considered. I know we're sort of not supposed to be talking about Ultra Instinct right now. The game is Phoenix versus Fatal Flaws. But at the same time, UI is a team that is sort of close to heart for me, so every now and again, you'll probably hear me talk about them if they get into division stages, mind you. They've tried for 8 seasons. 8 seasons, including the previous league. And they haven't done it. If they manage to do it this season, color me a happy caster, ladies and gentlemen. But, it's best not to get our hopes up just yet. There is still one more match day to go, as Fatal Flaws in the meanwhile getting the utility clearance done inside of Blue Bunker, making sure to do what they can to get rid of those shields, those Goyo shields, and pesky deployable shields of the smoke, as they should get that utility clearance done nice and quickly.
Phoenix Esports making sure that the push from bunker would not happen. They have the attack, I would say the angle being placed from the defender Goyo as well as expansion Tetra with the smoke gas canisters, not allowing the attacker to push even a single step towards that building. The Dronox will come in from the attackers to gain access towards on meeting, making sure that they'll be able to open up the electrical wall so that they'll be able to force at least one defenders to go back and relocate either towards the boiler room and one else. And talking about it, Pyromaniac would be the one to get their first frag as X10 goes down with the AUG 8-3. Meanwhile, in towards the meeting hall, we do see the Maverick with the breaching torches, in which he is going to open up the meeting hall just about now. The meeting hatch is being opened. Pyromaniac sees it. He's just waiting for a perfect angle for the Maverick to open so that he'll be able to get the headshot, but he decides to mainly focus on the blue bunker. Currently, Pyromaniac is not in a very good positioning here as Angry Ang eliminates Heavy, who in which he was trying to push in towards the meeting room, making it a 4v4. 1 minute left. Venus Esports needs to make a play here because this is their match point. If Fatal Flaws wins this attack, this round might go to overtime. Nomad's air jabs will detect and gets detonated. Not quite sure where it did went out to, but we do see a nade being thrown out from the Maverick, taking out the Vulcan shield, I believe, in which they'll be able to get some lines of access and progression towards the place. Angry Ang, not wasting any time, decides to push in, tries to contest, wins that gunfight towards the Vamai, but loses that gunfight towards Expansion Tetra, in which Pyromaniac gets the double kill, taking out Tank, making it a 3v2 situation. Smoke comes in, Fallen gets one, Pyromaniac gets the other, triple kill to him as he eliminates Rogue Bay, which leads to Fallen all by himself in the meeting hallway, actually in the meeting hatch, decides to push in. He will be now in the electrical room, gets taken out from the AUG 2, and just like that, Phoenix Esports will win round 12, denying overtime against Fatal Flaws, and they will be the one to win. In map Oregon, Basement Laundry goes to them, and so does the scoreline 7-5. What a wonderful match that we did get to see with a lot of difficulties that we've been through. I'm actually glad to see this matchup. A very great match coming in from Phoenix Esports, and well played from Fatal Flaws.
Absolutely. 11-11 to Pyromaniac and Expansion Tetra right towards the end. And Angry Ang taking 12 of his own. He tried right towards the end. He really started showing up, but unfortunately, it was too little too late for his team. Fatal Flaws, very, very well attempted, but unfortunately, only one team can win, of course, and that is Phoenix Esports, who will be going forward to tomorrow's set of matches, the final step to seeing if they can get into Division 3, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, it's going to be an exciting day of matches tomorrow, as, we had to quickly switch out of casters right towards the end there as well. Baba just joining in, as it were. And, yeah, it is what it is. But of course, we are going to go into Relive the Moment. We're not quite done with tonight, of course. Relive the Moment, where we go over and talk about the highlights of the match, what we saw from both sides. And really, it was just down to some good, solid defensive holds from the side of Fatal Flaws early. And, some mistakes were made on a kitchen meeting in round 3, but round 4 and, round 4 they took again on second floor dorms, on basement laundry, excuse me. And it really seemed like Fatal Flaws would having started off well, would continue the trend of a very dominant first half and not really letting up on the second half either. UI did it, and so did, of course, just a second, as we look back on the data right there we go, Clickbait against Espada, which was the second match tonight. However, of course, Phoenix Esports started to answer back from round 3 itself. They really gave it their all to start pushing against the way that Fatal Flaws were playing and exposing those flaws, if you, of course, allow me that. A little bit of puns, of course. With Foxy not here, someone's got to pick up the bad jokes. And, But with all that being said, of course, it's really just down to, both sides trying out whatever they can with the change in operators, the many nerfs and buffs of Operation Neon Dawn, the meta being in a bit of a transitionary period, and this shot from X10, there you go. Right there. That's beautifully done. Absolute 10 out of 10 headshot from the man. And but yeah, come back to the point at hand. It was really just down to the fact that both sides, all teams really right now, are going to be busy practicing new strategies, new setups, new holds, and new changes to the way that they go about their operator selection process. We might see some unorthodox operators being played more often. Ella's probably going to see a slight rise in pick rate with her deployable shield still being one of the ones that are still in the game. While, of course, we have Echo, who's recently been given back his deployable shield. He lost it some months ago, but he's got it back right now. It's going to be interesting to see what Echo mains, returning Echo mains, if you will, to competitive, choose to go for, as Echo himself is back in the competitive Rainbow Six alongside Sam Fisher. We didn't get to see any Sam Fisher today, though, sadly, but, he's more of an intel operator, the thinking man's operator, as I like to call him. You have to really, think about where to put his cams, how to use them, and you have 4 of them, which is quite a lot, but using them in the proper situations, in the proper places, can be food for thought, especially in downtimes when you're thinking about how to go about your Sam Fisher play. I went off on a bit of a tangent right there, so I'm going to leave it off to Baba to take over for the rest of the Relive the Moment as I continue to think about Sam Fisher's cams.
Yeah, well, talking about the second half and all, no offense, but Sam Fisher, it's been a while since we haven't seen any Sam Fisher being played, so very excited to see him, although we don't get to see it on map Oregon. But talking about the second half, when Fatal Flaws were in attack, they were having a bit of problems. They did, however, win that host plan situation in first floor dining, but unfortunately on second floor kids and basement laundry, that was the part where Phoenix Esports starts to hold their ground, especially I believe that was the Vomai with the MP5K expansion tetra, making those very important plays, and also an impressive pre-fire towards getting that headshot, eliminating 2 players towards the attic, and decides to not even let them push towards the side. Same thing even happened on basement laundry as well, eliminating players one by one, even with the aggressive push from Angry Ang, eliminated one from towards the freezer they could not get in the end. Pyromaniac was the main one who actually get those kills, and also Expansion Tetra yet again with those smoke gas canisters at the right moment. They didn't have enough amount of time, and then in the end Phoenix Esports did win it out. An impressive match that we did get to see, and also impressive gun plays coming in from both of them. Impressive, the MP5K kills coming in from Expansion Tetra. Very well played from them.
Absolutely. Very, very well played indeed between Fatal Flaws and Phoenix Esports, as that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it for the stream tonight. We've just finished our stream match set, and taking it from the top, it was a Lost Prophet Gaming versus Ultra Instinct, and UI were the ones to take away the map of Oregon, 7-4, channeling a little bit of that godly power, as it were. And then going into Espada versus Team Clickbait. It was Clickbait very dominating on the map of Clubhouse, 7-2. And just overall, a very good game for them. Not so much for Espada. And of course, the match that we just had, Fatal Flaws versus Phoenix Esports, finally ending things for the night with a 7-5 going the way of Phoenix. It really was a close game. Couldn't have been called to go either way, but Phoenix managed to win it out when they desperately needed to. And with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it from myself, Blackjack, my co-casters, Foxy and Babagusta, and of course, our admin Eisen, as we'll be saying good night for the night and seeing you tomorrow with day 4 of Qualifiers of Season 3. That is right, day 4 is tomorrow, and we will see which team gets into Division 3. We'll see you there tomorrow. Stay tuned, and good night.